Hello and welcome. Welcome to Trucking Answers. It's live show time, Monday, 12:30 p.m. about Eastern Time. It's 54 degrees here, traffic and weather on the twos every 10 minutes. Traffic rolling good. It's going to be 60 tomorrow, 30 on Wednesday, and then snow Thursday, Friday. 6 to 8 inches of snow starts Thursday and Friday. Be careful. Unlike last week where we had a number of pileups. Canada, it's over. It's over. That didn't take long, did it? Hirschbach buys JCT. I understand there are two profitable trucks at JCT also. So that's pretty good. Road check, May 17th to 19th, they announced it. Wheel ends. Yeah, wheel ends are on their agenda this year. What the heck? A driver runs over a teammate. Let's talk about how to keep teammates safe. And what happened in this case and how I think you should do it if you're teaming with somebody or you have somebody in the truck. And maybe other people have a better idea. That's probably likely. There's a quick blitz for Arizona on the 22nd to 25th. So get ready for that if you're out in the Arizona area. You deserve it for being so warm. And some other stocks and fuel and all this other things that are happening. And there's a lot of things in the news this week, really. Comparatively to what normally happens out here. So let's see what's going on. If I can do some clicks. And let's see there. Oh, right. Chicken hauler to skateboarder was first the other day. I appreciate that today. Which is fitting for President's Day. George H.W. Bush is first today. And this is President's Day. Is anybody getting paid for today as a holiday? Not me. Just wondered, does anybody get that other than the post office? There's no mail today in case you were worrying about getting a letter from a car warranty company. So George Wilson is here today. David Palmisano. All right. Are they serious about 65, like the speed limit? Yeah, that's been speed limit here for some time. Roger Penske is here today. What's going on? Hey, Steel Horse is here. George Costanza. Been on the road since the first week of November. Wow. Feeling burnt out, I bet. I bet. It's time to take a break. Gonna leave Melton, unfortunately. Yeah, that's too bad. Let's see what we can do about that. I don't know where you'd go to haul wind energy stuff. Not sure about that. I'm sure there's a way to do it, though. It's 34 in Seattle. Dwight is here. All right, Glitter Sparkle is here. Hello. Cassius King Trucking, what's going on? Joan Harper, hello. I don't know if you're going to miss this snow coming up. I didn't look that far down there. Trucker Hershey, what's going on? Waiting for a drop and hook. They said it been handled. Right. Exactly. Hey, don't worry, we got this. Wilbon, 1879. Good afternoon, Market Trucking Answers fans. Hello. Keep on trucking and keep the great country running. We're going to try to. Another week anyways. Creepy Bushman is here. Wow. All right. Welcome, Dylan. Happy Monday. It's 70 in Joplin. Really? Boy, that's nice. Million Miler went past the Trucking Answers headquarters. Yeah, you should stop by. See what's going on. Waiting for Canadian truckers to do pickups and deliveries in Ottawa, right? They left. The cops came in and left. Did you notice they put snipers out on the rooftops for the news? So it looked good for the news? Yeah, because all those dangerous truck drivers with their bouncy houses out there. So that's pretty good. 18 dead presidents, right? John Black. Hey, what's going on? Let's see. Just delivered to a customer in Decatur. They wouldn't let you use the bathroom. Who the heck is that? Who won't let people use the bathroom? Still working on this Black & Decker. They sent me an email the other day that said the case has been handled, and thank you for emailing them. I wrote back to them. I go, what are you talking about? Oh, and they go, oh, sorry, that was a mistake. We're working on it. We'll get back to you. So we're still on the case with Black & Decker. That is not over yet. Some of these things take time, back and forths and stuff. It's not over. It's never over until we say it's over. John Belushi. All right. Ontario wieners should be banned. Yeah, let's keep those Canadian wieners up where they belong in the cold north. Juan, now that the snow's melting, truck stops have left. I love this. A scavenger hunt for lemonade bottles. That's pretty nice of them, too. Yeah, pretty nice of them. George Costanza got a weird steak and cheese with banana peppers, cucumbers, and chipotle sauce. Wow. That's like super complicated. RAS of Pittsburgh doesn't allow the drivers use the bathroom. The sign says no public restrooms. Yeah, send me a picture of that sign. I need the sign. If people have this, I really need a sign. Just that they tell you no, although I agree, I believe you and agree with you. whenever you call them or write to them, they go, oh, that's absolutely not true. We don't know anything about that. So we need a sign or something like that, you know. Hello from Joliet, Daniel. All right. What's going on near the prison? Creature 937, what's happening? Paul Harris this year. Get your Wiener head low. I'm trying to. How about those Los Angeles Rams? I've never been a Dodge fan. Got a lot of Fords over here. Paul Harris, which I lost my spot there. Oh, don't think I was going to make the week's live back in the United States. Welcome back from wherever you were. Easter is really Passover, John. I'll take that your word for that. Hello from Somersville, West Virginia, going to Charlotte for 2 deliveries in the morning. Oh, all right. That's not bad. What's going down there anyways? In Charlotte, Roller Wiener for president. Uploading my Great Dane job opening, their $50 million plant in Terre Haute, Indiana. Really? GL Travels. All right. Are they going to make trailers there or something? Stay away from the split on 40 in Nashville if you can. I will try to stay away from it. Pennsylvania State Police Safety Week started today. I didn't see the Pennsylvania one. I got this Arizona one. Diesel's over 419 in upstate. Diesel average right now is 401. So I got that nationwide. And it's about 424 Friday here in Indiana. So enjoy that. And they're saying possibly $150 a barrel oil, which would put gas in the 750 range. So enjoy those commuting in your F-250. After 2 years away, I'm back at Smith Transport. Wow. What a big circle that is. The pay was too high to ignore, and they had a great equipment, and they were really nice people. They do. And let's see, what could pay possibly be at Smith Transport? Well, 93.6, you might be able to get that much there, depending on what you're willing to do there. So, yeah, welcome back, I guess, to Smith. As if I can speak for them. They'll be like, Mark, you don't have to speak for us. Sorry. The Traveling Man, greetings. What do you think of lease purchase programs? I think they stink. Go get a truck away from the carrier. Do not get the equipment from the same people that write you a paycheck. They're paying 65 cents per mile for over the road, and Flex Fleet has $1,800 a week. Right, 93.6, and that's a lot of money on top of the really nice trucks. I know, that's a lot of cash. That's what I'm saying. 60 in Boston. Wow. Clam chowder's heated up just outside. They're going to give you a brand new long nose truck here as soon as they get registration. I know, they do have a lot of nice trucks. This is actually one of their trucks. This is not a fake truck or whatever. They run these trucks on the road. And as a company driver, you know, I'm all for it. I'm not buying the fuel for it. It's sunny there. Huh? All right, Dylan, how's it going? It's going great. Jordan Carriers hauls wind energy equipment. All right. Yeah, I know there has to be a place to do it. There's got to be. So if you have a hankering to do it, that's hip talk today, go do it. 80 in Lake Wales, Florida. Wow. That stinks. 80. Hello, Adam. Hey, what's happening? In the paper, Mexico Pruitt. Where's Mexico Pruitt? Fast Joke, Oregon. Hello from Pennsylvania. Precision Logistics. All right. 81 in Tampa. Chris, that's terrible. If my friend didn't live near Tampa, I'd boot you. William Shatner. Ending his line of women's underwear. Turns out Shatner Panties was a bad marketing name. Yeah, exactly. Shatner. That guy, what is he, 90 now? Oh, New Mexico. All right. Flagstaff to get 5 inches of snow Tuesday, 5 to 9, depending who's measuring it. 22nd and 23rd. No blitz in Flagstaff. Yeah, actually, right. Stillhorse, the blitz actually is from the border up 19 or 17 or whatever the heck that is, up basically Phoenix and across the bottom. That's actually what they were talking about, where they wanted to blitz it. And that's probably why. Because they know in Flagstaff, nobody's getting into your truck in a creeper in Flagstaff in the wintertime. So that's what they're doing. But yeah, absolutely. Flagstaff. Loves is discontinuing canned soda. Really? You're not going to be able to get those cans in there anymore? Huh. Wonder if they'll stop selling canned beer. Greetings, Charles. Just finished my delivery at the kombucha factory. Columbia, Georgia. Really? That sounds gross. It's nice here. 1 to 2 inches of rain tomorrow, Joan. Yeah, it is going to rain hard. And this is going to be the same setup as last week. And we're going to get rain Wednesday and freeze. 31 as a high. And then we got a problem. Thursday, we got all this snow, just like last week. 65 closed for almost a day. At the 201 or so, 202, just north of here in Remington, they had 100 vehicle wreck, mostly trucks. That's what aggravates me the most. Why are drivers driving in that kind of weather? I knew about that for days in advance. Looking at that, why doesn't anybody run traffic on their phones and stuff? Why are people just coming up to it and stop, coming up to it and stop when it's closed for hour after hour after hour? Police are begging people not to come up there. Does nobody check anything? I mean, trucks are all over the place. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I'll get a picture next time I go up there. Dylan, good. It says to unhitch and go ask to go take a break, but I just walked in and used the bathroom anyway. All right, if they let you, then they still let you. But right, there shouldn't be a picture of that and go unhitch. Not everybody can do that. All right, you're not allowed to just do that. It depends. I'm not allowed PC, so I'd have to log that. So, hey, Mark, when are you coming to Tampa? I wish I came there every winter, I'll tell you that. Are you going to check out the 23 Tahoe SS? I would look at it. Okay, I don't exactly know what they're going to do with the SS. What are they putting in it? How do you make an SS out of a Tahoe? I mean, they had a Callaway Suburban. Did I see that? Or a Tahoe years ago? Maybe Blazer there was a Callaway version, but I've never seen a Tahoe SS. Are they going to slap one of the Corvette engines in it? Still, they're still low power for their size. Sam, hello from Peoria, Illinois. Delivered to the Natty this morning. Really? Going to Utah. Wow. Well, you get to go right through the storm that's coming in. That's a good load out of there. Chicken Hauler to Skateboarder. Hello from Daytona. 82. Wow. A lot of people down there getting banned. That's a shame. I saw 3 Smith trucks in a truck stop, and every one of them was top notch. They do have nice trucks. They do. And the black trailers looks good. And now with the Pay 2 93.6, that's nothing to sneeze at. Although, if you had a cold, you might sneeze at it. Outside of Grants, New Mexico, Fast Joe. All right, I remember Grants, New Mexico. 50 and raining in the Alabama, Denny. Well, but you won't get any snow out of this. The focus of the Pennsylvania Blitz is distracted driving and speeding trucking journeys. Could they do that maybe up here, like in the Remington area during storms? If you are come upon, a bunch of cars stopped and you run into them, you are going too fast for the conditions. How about that? How about that? Everybody up there that had an accident should have got ticketed. All right, should have gotten a ticket. You have to be able to stop if something happens in front of you. If you can't, you're going too fast for conditions. That's my opinion. There were tons of trucks. That's what took them so long to clear it. They actually were going on snowmobiles, the police, car to car, to see people need to be taken to a hotel. That's how long people were out there. Doesn't make any sense. Once the road's closed and you're 3 hours later and you're still driving on the road that's closed, what are you doing? Traffic should be running every second your truck is driving. Check the weather before you leave. Why do we even have to say that? Paul Vines, happy Monday, safe travels. JJ, does that not include Monster and Red Bull cans? Oh, right. Some of that stuff's in a can too, right. No, I cannot believe they'd stop selling that stuff in there. All you'd have are those Bumblebee pills at the register then. I've always wondered why truck stops sell alcohol. Yeah, I agree. What are we doing selling beer at the truck stop? I mean, sure, everybody needs a tall one, but still. Martin Shelley, on a side note, I greatly enjoyed your Sunday car lot videos. Keep them coming. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. You're one of the few. That channel's been up for 8 or 9 years. So I just like looking at cars, so I'm out there looking at cars. Probably 45 videos a year go up over there. Usually the car from this week's Sunday rant is next week's car on that channel. Al Johns, hey, what's going on? Sorry to report you roughed some feathers with some railroad trash, man. I knew with the UP you said trash crews not needed the other week. Train crews are not needed. Yeah, I don't understand it. Why can't a train be automated of all things? They may be. Well, look, White Castle's got a robot that's going to go out at 100 stores. We don't need people running a French fry machine. We don't need somebody running a train. That, of all things, should be the first thing that's automated. You know where it is. It can't turn. It can only go on the tracks you set it on. Absolutely. I mean, those should be the first people booted out of a job. Why do truck stops not sell alcohol? They do sell alcohol. Some of them do. Well, and I was on 65 stuck for 3 hours. I'm planning on getting off the 231, but more trucks kept getting jackknife, which backed us up. Yeah, I know. It was a huge backup. I watched it. It's 30 minutes north of me. And it was, some people were stuck there for a day, depending when you got to it. You should have got off here in Lafayette and gone across 52 to 41 north. The Smith pay isn't guaranteed unless you do flex fleet, which is a lot of night driving and relays. There's no refusing loads. Well, not for a guarantee, right? But I will tell you, there are other drivers on this channel that are on that pay package, and some weeks they don't get a lot of miles. One week that driver got 1,200 miles and got $1,800. And I'll tell you what, $1.60 on a company driver, a mile, not bad. Not bad. That's not every week, but that was a week. That's pretty impressive. Midlife Trucker Tom Bell. Hey, I'm late. Left trucker paying the Wiener tax. Thank you very much. And I appreciate you coming in even late. And there it is. There's the channel right there. Check out Cheeseman. How about that? We can get some information at Cheeseman too. And that driver will tell you how to be a six-figure trucker. And I've lost my other page. There it is. There it is. And I've lost my spot. I'm a disaster. It's a disaster today. They did do a Trailblazer SS. I do remember that in the mid-2000s. Had the vet engine in it with all-wheel drive. Yes, they did, and that's true. So, but the Tahoe's bigger yet, right? So what are we going to put in this thing to, what are we going to get in the mid-fives? And it's going to be, what, $100,000? Tahoes are already expensive. So at 100, you can do better yet. You can upgrade. You don't have to get a Chevy for $100,000. That's always my problem. Once they get into that price, you can really upgrade your life for that kind of money. Really. But regular over the road is still 65 cents, right? And plenty of miles, easy to make 2,000 a week. There you go. Looks like the Tahoe, you can get they're going to do a two-door Tahoe again. They don't make a two-door Tahoe. They're going to make a special two-door right now for that. That'd be something. I'd like to see that. I love long people. Long people? I-35 closed last Thursday. Made it by the accident before they closed the road. I heard about the accident on CB. Oh, nice. Google Traffic didn't have it reported as an accident yet. No, but Google Traffic, Steel Horse, this is why I use it, is it measures the speed of the phones, which you well know, on the road versus the speed limit of the road. And the color of the road changes. That's why I use it. And yeah, you can come upon an accident that just happened and the road is just slowing down. I agree with you. But it covers, a lot of stuff. And there were people going up to Remington hours, it had been closed 8, 10, 12 hours. There are people still showing up at the end of the backup. That's not acceptable, especially for truck drivers. You leave Indianapolis, so it closes at 2 p.m. You leave Indianapolis at 9 p.m. and go up and get stuck in a backup that's been closed for 7 hours. That kind of thing, that's what I'm saying. That is not acceptable. A quick check of traffic, you'd see, oh, the road's been closed all this time. I wonder if I should just drive up there. No, you shouldn't. Car channel. It's just my name, Mark Rumps. It's all car reviews where I walk around a car on a Sunday that I have found that I enjoy, and that's it. That's what it is. A few 2, 3 to 8 minutes. Some of them walking around a car, me talking about it, and that's it. It's not. Believe me, it's not. It's not exactly Shakespeare over there. Most people are not enjoying it. So, but I enjoy it. So there's probably 800 videos there. Martin, are not using your CB to warn other truckers, warning like it used to be years ago. That's true. It only goes a few miles. I mean, if you sell these drivers left Indianapolis, they could see immediately on their map that the road's closed. See it. And the police are putting it out. Like I'm signed up here for Nixle, which is the police channel here. So in my area, so I got messages about it, but you could see it on the map. Once it's closed for a while and people still show up to it, there's no excuse for that. There just isn't. How many aircraft pilots don't check the weather before they depart? Yes. The dead ones, right. It should just be standard thing. Well, let's check the weather. Oh, it's icy. The road, it's closed. All right, I guess I'll just go anyways. Why don't you just park for the day? 70 in good old Gulfport. Dang it, it's warm everywhere. Of course, it's warm here today, too, so I'm sort of happy. I-65 north in Indiana was cleared 3 days ago. Yeah, but it was shut for a day up there, and it probably will shut again Thursday. That's a terrible stretch. That's White County. Starts up like the 198 and goes up to the 214 or so. That county's terrible at clearing the road. It blows across there. It's all open. It's terrible. You want summer? Me too. You're going to get it tomorrow and then freeze again for a while. I've enjoyed regular car review channel. Some of them, some of the other channels are good. Yeah, I do like some of them. I looked at 52 to 41, but 41 was not plowed or salted, but it was open. 24 to 57, at least it wasn't I-39. Right. See, when it gets too bad, if the roads are closing, I'm parked. I'm parking it. Definitely watching the storm. If it gets bad, I'm not moving. My company puts safety first and doesn't mind rescheduling. Exactly. Would all those drivers stuck a day on the road? Wouldn't it have been just as good to sit at a truck stop? They didn't get anywhere. All right, you're not getting anywhere, so why not stay at a truck stop? Pilot Flying J closing 16 locations that were near other Pilot Flying J. Oh, that's brilliant. They just said they're going to open like 10 new stores, too. If you wear it, make it a parrot. Always, at least in the wintertime, put something on your head. That Flex Fleet is mostly high dollar freight from UPS and FedEx. It's a lot of waiting, which is why they can afford to pay the high freight. Flipping your sleep schedule. I don't like that every day. We'll talk about that more on the podcast tomorrow of why there was no podcast last Friday. Tomorrow's podcast will be a much longer podcast than normal because there wasn't one on Friday for weather-related problems. Last week was a disaster. Where do I work? Well, the good thing is people don't ever ask me that question, which is good. If for new people, I do this every Monday at 12:30 for the foreseeable future, weather permitting. 12:30 Eastern, but I don't ever say where I work. There was another guy out this week got fired from a major mega carrier for doing videos. So that's why, right? Don't put out there where you work. It can be risky. So I just keep them out of the videos. So they don't have anything to say about what I say then. And I think it just keeps it cleaner. I don't recruit for them either. So not recruiting for my company. I have a map of the U.S. its actual size, one to one. It's hard to unfold. Yeah, how do you stick it back in the glove compartment? Do you remember that? Am I the only one that remembers having a glove compartment full of maps? I remember us driving to Disney World in the 70s. And I was not driving. And I remember I was the map person. And so I got to get all the maps. Every state we'd stop and get the free maps at the rest areas. A lot of fun that was. They're old pilots and they're bold pilots. But they're no old bold pilots. They all check the weather too. And maps and everything else. Trains need to stop and split the train. Sound horn and start engines. Just now, way to automate. You could certainly automate a horn sound, getting a horn. Splitting the train up, I don't know. I don't know how to do that necessarily. There's probably a way to do it. All right, so you have somebody on there that splits up the train. They don't need 40 people in the train, and there's no reason it couldn't drive itself. I mean, it could. It could work. It's on a track. I think it works good. If they can do it at White Castle, they can do a train. Heck with electric cars, you're better off with a wind-up model. You just have the key sticking out of the hood. Right. I don't really use PC anymore since I started logging sleeper berth. Let's see, and I just lost my spot. Right. Dang roller thing. Oh, and after I get back into a dock, has been a big positive for time management. Split sleeper's been a great change too. Right, we're going to talk about that on the podcast too, on how Mark made a split sleeper into a paycheck. Salt and vinegar pork rinds are the perfect match to Vienna sausages. Wow. That sounds like a night of disasters. Waze app is great for traffic on the road. Waze is good, owned by Google. I think Google bought it, right? Somebody owns it. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl? Right. Was this over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? No. Let him go. He's on a roll. Doug Thompson brief. Hopefully pilots closing one where some of the equipment doesn't work right. Like the one at Exit 4 in Indianapolis that people talk about exit on 465. Back in 01, nobody had a lease purchase. Then they realized they can get someone else to pay the note. Yeah. They go, you know what? I bet drivers will pay for this truck for us. And people are like, no way. And the guy's like, yeah, they will. I'm going to all right, Johnson, let's see what happens. And in 3 months, they're like, Johnson, you're brilliant. You're getting a raise. There's no way drivers will drop all their benefits, pay the truck payment, and make the same money. And you're like, heck yeah, they will. So, turns out they did. Did you say someone was getting $1.60? Yeah, you could. James Bass, look, you could theoretically at Smith Transport, where they're guaranteeing $1,800 a week. That's $93,600. A guy did 1 week get 1,200 miles. So around $1.60 a mile he made. And they gave me $1,800. That's not every week, but it's possible because they guarantee the pay, whether they have work or not. I love a guarantee, either as a floor or a guarantee like that. It's possible, just not every week. Midlife Trucker, if you use a Garmin 800, 1000, you can see traffic cams along your route. It's in the app. All right, that's good too. If there are traffic cams in the area. I don't know if there are up there. I never looked. The police were posting pictures all over their Twitter feeds. Could have found it there too. But yeah, okay, that's pretty good. How much would be a Garmin 800 or 1000? What would one of those run a driver? When is Gracie coming out with her own channel? She's working on it. Without thumbs, it's hard for her to type. So I pulled into a way station inspector for 3 hours. Wow. Next day I came back and bought them lunch. Wow. We pilots check the weather constantly unless it's a clear sunny day. Aviator Trucker. Now, do you recommend that for truck drivers as well, to be like updated on the weather? Maybe before they leave each day, check the weather. Like, look, I'm forever checking the weather for the next few days, route. You know, between here, I have a bunch of cities, say between here and Cincinnati. Now, that's only because I go to Mark, you go to the same place. Look, no matter where I was going, I would check the cities all along the way constantly to see what's going on. Curious Cars has a pretty good car review channel of some cars we really wouldn't think about otherwise. All right, I'll check that out. Mine are just like random cars I find around town. I see them driving around during the week. I'm like, all right, I'm coming back to get that car, or coming back to look at that car. It's harder now. There's not as many cars to look at. Used to get a lot better cars, but, I do what I can. I'm out anyways. Finally got a door. Oh, fine. About time, right? Did you slip them, hey, I got a Lincoln here for you, and there's Lincoln's got a brother if I get in a door soon enough. Midlife Trucker, the stores Pilot are closing are horrible. It makes sense. Good. They should close the dumpy ones that everybody hates down. Maybe they'll get up their 1.2 review on Google or whatever it is. I think Pilot Flying J's are not good. I don't like them. I prefer not to go in them, and I'm glad I don't have to go in them. So some of the drivers here love them. Oh, I get 10 points a gallon or whatever. I'm like, whatever. I'm not going in them. It's not worth it to me for points. I never talked to a millionaire that said, how I made all my money? Pilot points. Even truck drivers that are doing good. How do you make so much money? Oh, it's all my points. See, so the points never bother me. I'd rather go to a place that's convenient. That is a nice place, too. Yikes. So I'm behind. Garmin traffic is always wrong except for slowdowns. It kept saying 2-minute delay for construction. I don't know. I don't use that. I use Google Maps. No podcast wasn't weather-related, Midlife Trucker. It was weather-related, which we'll talk about tomorrow's podcast. And then I just couldn't get it back out. So, but Friday's podcast, although nobody wrote to me, so I guess nobody listens to it, but it was not out, and it was weather-related. You don't have much of a choice when the roads are icy when you work in the medical. Unless I'm delivering a liver or I'm like a doctor, something like that, I'm not going. It's simple as that. If I'm delivering an organ for transplant, I get it, emergencies. I'm the surgeon, okay? But I'll tell you, the hundreds of trucks and some cars that were stuck in that backup in the Remington, Indiana area, do you think they all had medical organs to be transplanted? Or do you think it was mostly just general freight where drivers either don't look at the weather or don't care about what the roads are or just not informed, that kind of thing? I mean, let's be honest. Joan Harper, you work for you. Everybody should. Right? There's no I in team. How do we listen to your podcast? You'll go and download a podcasting app from wherever you want. iTunes. You can go. Android's got a ton of podcasting things. I use Podcast Addict. There's all different ones. And just look up Trucking Answers and subscribe to it. And every time I put out a podcast, it'll just be downloaded automatically for you. They don't even cost anything. Isn't that great? And then you can write me letters about how great it is. You don't have to look at me. You can only hear me through your ear hole. They run longer, 30 minutes to 45 minutes usually, maybe an hour even coming tomorrow. And I just kind of just talk about whatever, some trucking and automotive and the reason why we're not on Mars. I always have another reason why we don't live on Mars, because there's a bunch of dumb people on this planet that we have to support and purchase dry cheese sandwiches for because they're idiots. And just other general things in the news. Like the robot at White Castle. We used to used a AAA trip planner. It was a strip map. You flip pages, Ohio to speed enforcement warning. Wow. For the whole state? Oh, that's pretty good. We stopped at every welcome center, and I would run in there to get the maps. Men never ask for directions. No, you don't need to. Our wife is busy telling us which way to go. Turn left here. You're going too fast. Looking for a pan. She's not out here. So a pan flying across out of nowhere. George Costanza, goodness. Thank you very much. If you have to find a crappy Road Ranger, flat, even parking spots, that's too. A nice shower, small donation to buy yourself a 6-inch sub, a steak and cheese, but without all those peppers. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But no peppers. Let's see. Did you know about Thornton truck stop at Bensonville? Charging ticketing trucks for staying over $250. I don't know if they could ticket you $250. Okay, I'm not a lawyer, as hard as that is to believe. Let's see here where it is. And I'm not a lawyer. I'm so much that I can't even find it. Even so, I'm going to find it, because now I'm looking for it. I'm going to find it. Oh, there it is. How about that? I'm not an attorney, so I can't give legal advice. But I will tell you this. They can't ticket you because they're not the police. So they can't charge you, in my opinion, as a non-lawyer, write a contract, you have to agree to it, So I don't think they could do that. They can make you leave. They could trespass you. But saying you have to pay $250, I doubt it. I doubt it. They could tow you away. No one should go there. Ken P. in Memphis. I remember when you made all your calls at the truck stop, either at restaurant booth or right. The booths in the back, always great. Smelled of cigarette smoke and desperation, especially at the J, and depression. And the booth, right. There was always a phone at the booth. The other day, Laramie was icy and windy. A truck with that empty trailer got hit by a gust of wind and jackknifed in front of me. He had no business being on the road. Right. What is he doing out there? Why are you doing that? So if he's empty, why is he on the road? Medical? What is the total number of countries that have listened to your podcast? Currently, we're stuck at 42. Dave Johnson. It has been downloaded in 42 countries, many of which do not speak English in the country, although I guess somebody there does. That's about 1/5 of the countries on the planet. So I'm pretty impressed by that, to be honest with you. Captain Cleaner Wiener. Be weather aware. A tornado flipped some 18-wheelers on I-22 in Birmingham. Why are people not aware of things? Why are people run up to closed roads? Sorry I was gone for so long, jail travels. I just got done with uploading my Great Dane manufacturing plant in Indiana with a list of the open jobs in the video. Get hired. Yeah, go get hired. But if that working in the plant, if it's anything like Wabash National here in Lafayette, they always hire. And the people that work there, all right, they don't give it a lot of good reviews. I need to hug a huge bear to sit in my passenger seat. Right. All right, that can be arranged. Our horrible location. They're pilots. Schneider fired 2 drivers last week that I know of for filming on their GoPros. TZT Logistics. That's correct. I always tell people, do not show your company like that. And what do? Show their company. Boom, fired. Schneider's very strict on it. Very strict. They do not tolerate it, and you're fired. I don't know what to say to people. I mean, you can't do that. You're likely to you're fired for a company policy violation. You have a tough time getting another job. Depends where you go. I mean, it doesn't help things. Storm just started in Wyoming. Nice 34 with tequila and vodka. Snow's great if you don't have to drive in it. Oh, right. Yeah, sure, if you're home. I don't mind the snow at all. I'm with Smith, and all I do is run Chicago to St. Paul, Minnesota, and get the $1,800. That's not bad, is it? That's not bad. And you get a nice truck there, too. And they slap you the $1,800 every week, right? What I like better than a guarantee is actually staying busy. That is better, too. Look, that's why I say, look, at least a guarantee that's a floor. Because there are problems that can come up. That one day you get a flat, the next day the truck breaks down or something, you just can't stay busy because of things that are out of your control. A load cancels. And so those weeks you don't get any money. It's nice to have a guarantee so that you know you're not going to get any $300 check or something. That's all I'm saying. A crane crew consists of 2 people, a conductor and an engineer. Yeah, the guy takes tickets. They could take 2 or 3 trades together, and it's called a distributive power. That's a lot of, there's nobody on the train. They don't need a conductor to take tickets. They got that hat, and he puts out the stair thing and then rings the lantern all aboard. I don't know if they need that guy anymore. A friend of mine installed a Garmin G1000 in his airplane. The system cost $30,000. Wow. Whoa, wow. Can't he just run a regular Garmin? Wow. I-65 does have cameras. All right, Travel Midwest. Is it open today? Go look at that Thursday. Then up there north at the 201 Remington, Rensselaer up there, and see what's happening. Schneider fired those 2 drivers, and Prime fired one of their drivers. Okay, I didn't know that, but I expect that. For the same thing with the GoPro hands-free that I covered on my channel. Absolutely. These companies, and, I don't know, rightly so. If you're narrating the video, are you driving? Are you not totally driving? And it's a liability for them. I'm sure they cover it in their driver manual. AccuWeather app in each state has a DOT app. Don't head out before checking them. Right. Check it, but drivers don't. The drivers that are stuck in this, we had drivers get stuck in this last week. We had drivers get stuck. And they said, I had no idea. How do you not have an idea? They're leaving here going north, and they're like, and then they go 30 minutes and they're stuck for a day in a day cab. People got to go rescue them. We just send rescue drivers out all over the place. Curious Cars is awesome. A dealer in Florida gives you your car history and a weather forecast. Nice. That's what I need. Plus, it's 90 here. They go. You can all see where the bad weather is just by checking out Google Maps Highway View. Green good, orange bad. Yeah, stay out of it if it's red. Happy Monday, running miles. All right, ever seen an old DOT number? Wow. That's a low. That's a really low number. What bill's the Lincoln on? The 2. He's on the $2. The $2 bill. These points equate to free parking when I need it. Well paid for by the company parking. Well, midlife trucker. That is true. The drivers here aren't doing it for points to park because they don't need to park. But I agree. Some points are, all right for parking. But I'm saying that our drivers, especially, saying, "Well, I go to the pilot for the points." It's all right. It's 10 points. I mean, so they get $5 a day, $6. I don't know. Keltarusu travels. Happy Roller Wiener Monday. Remember when car exhaust stunk bad? We used to just call it carbon monoxide. Yeah, those were the days. I'd ride around in the trunk, and then all that smell would come in there from the rusted part. I never want to drive for a company I need to make points to afford to eat. That's true, too. That's true. Or and the ATA and OIDA came out this week and talked to the government about truck parking again. And if drivers are using their points to park, that isn't right. An employee driver, all right, any driver that's an employee, the owner of the truck, the one who profits from the truck, the one who risks money for the truck, should be the one paying to park the truck. That's what I say. Not an employee. An employee should not have to expend money because of their job. Okay, eating, well, Mark, people eat. People eat anyway. There shouldn't be any money expended out of your pocket for your work. Work should provide whatever you need, including parking their vehicle if it costs to park their vehicle overnight. Couldn't get it back out, never hear that at the manhole. That's true. In the old days, we used to look at the sky for time and weather. Yeah, but that took forever. I'd park at a truck stop or a rest area, and I have to put out my sundial and wait, to see what time it was. I mean, that's pretty annoying. I get stuck at a backup at the manhole. Yikes. There is no I in team, but there is a me in team. Right. There's only an I in independent. Lincoln did not like the South. Mr. Booth did not like Abe. Well, so I got a call from Sierra England. Osvaldo. All right. They're desperate. No doubt. They offered me $25 an hour, weekends off. Really? Where are they giving $25 an hour? I'd love to see that in writing from them. Tell them to put that in writing. $25 an hour plus overtime? That's interesting. John, working on a curriculum to train church bus drivers. Curriculum requires hours of service. I have a sample log sheet with the co-driver trainee as Billy Big Rigger. That's good. Church bus drivers. You can get a weather radar map online at the Google or Apple store. I check the weather throughout the country to see what the background is, then I break it down by city. Love predicting the weather. And doesn't that help you in your day, though? I mean, if you're leaving out, can drivers at least check the route they're going to go on for that day? I'm always amazed that people run up to a backup that's 10 miles long, and they're like, I wonder what happened. Mars doesn't exist. Oh, well, see, that's maybe why we're not there. There is a meat in team. That's very good. There's a lot of meat in the team. What do you think about that? Schneider dispatcher told the driver to run with the rock stuck in the dual to see if it would fall out. Construction drivers are wise to this. Well, get everything in writing. Right, that guy, I got to get everything in writing. And plus, he shouldn't be telling them stuff, okay? Solve your problems on the road. Don't tell them stuff. They don't know anything, and they're writing everything down in some kind of file on you. So don't do that. But just solve that kind of thing yourself. Listen to the podcast on Spotify, where Mark will never be canceled. That is true. I'm on Spotify with Joe Rogan. They cannot cancel me off of Spotify. I guess they could. But they didn't. So I'm on Spotify as well. And iHeartRadio, all these bigger, all Amazon Music, goodness. It's everywhere you can find a podcast. We love your pretty face, Kildrews, your travels. All right, well, that's one, you and the cat. So I appreciate that. I always buy cars private party, but I'm holding on to my A to B because it's paid for. Putting miles on the truck, and I'm down to like one oil change a year on the car. Yeah, depends on how far you drive it. I'm almost a year, and I'm at 80% on the oil life. So crazy. If you make it a parrot, always keep a parrot on your head because you don't want to get a ticket. Sierra England is caution recruiting. Every new guy leaves after 90 days. I can't imagine they're paying $25 an hour. Is this some kind of local job that they have somewhere? Usually these mega carriers actually pay better on their local jobs than they pay over the road, and it's not a bad job. There's all these road drivers bringing trailers in. You have tons of loads to deliver. Mars is a flat planet just like Earth. Yeah, just a different color. So there should be a lot of room for us to live there. Luke, checking in late, just finished up my drop and hook in Freehold, New Jersey. Yikes, I hope you're coming back this way. If they put signs in the parking lot saying that you will be charged, you get permission when you park there, understanding the conditions. Maybe. I don't think about it. $250. I mean, if we listen to Handel on the Law, who's an attorney, that, you know, because you put up a sign isn't necessarily a contract. You know, that just depending on whether that's a contract depends. It depends. Like, I can't just put up a sign saying it's $50,000 to park here, and you park there and you agree to it. Not necessarily, you would say. It depends. Where do you work? Well, you know, I get asked that a lot today, but not that often. So, you know, unlike these other drivers apparently that keep getting fired, I try to keep the company out of my videos so that there's not an issue about being fired from them, because they probably would. So we keep them out of there, and I don't recruit for them. Let them get their own drivers, which they have a tough time doing. I checked the zoning laws in Bensonville, and nothing on it. But I was told there's a city ordinance which allows $250 ticket for over 2 hours parking at a truck stop. Local, some kind of local ordinance. It'd be interesting. They'd have to call somebody then to give you a ticket. They call on the police to issue the tickets for 4 years. It's the whole you run a stop sign in a parking lot. It depends. Here, they actually talked about that here in Lafayette, that you can run them on private property unless the private property has an agreement with the police department in writing. Because somebody had that and fought it. It was in the news that they'd gotten a ticket at the mall, and they fought it because the mall didn't have an agreement with the police department in writing, and they won. And so they commented in the news about it and talked to some lawyer, at least in Lafayette here. They have to have an agreement with private property owners. If they don't, they can't do any enforcement on private property unless they're called there by the property owner. They call the police to issue the tickets, right? So Google even tells you where the speed traps, some of them, if the people report it. You shouldn't be speeding, though. Right now, if a company fires you, it just changes the color of your truck and the name of the dispatcher that you swear about. Midlight trucker, that's true. There are other jobs, but eventually it can be a problem. I mean, some of these drivers that have been fired recently have posted more videos, of course, about them talking to other companies, and apparently it could be a problem getting another job. I don't like driving in rain empty. Sure as not driving on the ice empty. Yeah, let's park. In bad weather, look, for a day or whatever, park it. Just park it up. It isn't worth going out. Kind of sore, Schneider, but a rule's a rule. Still like watching Bobby Reach. A very optimistic guy. Yeah, he is. I'll give you that. Everything is content, right? So he said, but it is a rule. And he actually said he knew about it. So I don't know what to say. You're like, I know this rule, but I'm going to do this anyhow, and I'll probably get fired for it. I guess you get fired for it then. I don't know what to tell you. Hurricane Express is a dedicated route from Harbor to Harbor to Hunts Point, New York. Wow. I wonder how it is recruiting for that. Will those trucks at Hurricane, which are nice, will that get you to go to Hunts Point, New York on a regular route? I think I'd pass. Actually, the conductor's in charge of the train, the engineer's in charge of the locomotive, and the brakeman drives the train. That doesn't make any sense. The conductor is the guy with the hat that walks through the cars taking tickets. Ticket, ma'am. Ticket, sir. The brakeman brakes. Right? And the engineer is the guy that honks the horn. So that's how I know about trains. It's a conductor's job to make sure they pick up and drop the right cars. Picking and hooking them together, right? And the conjunction junction. That guy? Well, how does he do that and take all the tickets? That must take a lot longer. All the videos on my channel are taken from mounted fixed cameras. Any voiceovers done afterwards in post-production. Midlife trucker. Yeah, depending on the company, that's okay. You know, some companies are okay with it and some aren't. That'd be better. You know, showing other stuff, especially posting your really low paycheck of your company, which is a horrible check, probably not a great idea when you're naming the company. You wouldn't have that problem, but some people at other companies do have that issue. So if you're going to put the company name in there, you might want to just talk to them about it in advance. Heck, they might want you to do. You're going to look, I'm going to hype this place up. I'll be your hype man. They wouldn't let me use a hands-free camera at the manhole either. I'm surprised because they usually want your hands-free. Weather is at the top of the list on a pre-trip. Jeff Rise, why isn't it at the top of the list for most people's pre-trip? Why are we not doing route planning? Isn't that part of route planning every day? That Smith truck in the ad is actually like the one I drive. That's like a lot of the ones that they have there, though. That's not an unusual truck at Smith. That's a common truck to see at Smith Transport. Really? I mean, they've got a thing going there where they have good pay and a truck that you don't get at most companies. And I would say don't change companies just for a truck, but, you know, you're already there and the pay there is pretty good. It's worth talking to them. Muhammad, hello, Mark. Hey, what's going on? The company pays for the fuel, therefore the company's paying for the points. They are paying for the points. If there's a charge, ironically, if there's a charge, see, the company, though, when you write to the pilot, they say the points are for the driver to encourage him to come in and like a bonus on top of the fuel. If there's a charge for the truck, like say I didn't get enough points that week, maybe my company doesn't have points there, or I had to park somewhere other than where I have points for. Whoever owns the truck should pay for the expenses of the truck. That's what I'm saying. And it's not me as an employee. Look at Primark. They're starting to lock down about drivers that record while driving, even if it's hands-free. That's the problem. They don't care either. So now it's Schneider and Prime. Companies don't care. That's true that most companies don't care. Ultimately, they don't care. That's why I tell people, keep a clean record. Stay at a company for a while if you can, right? Don't change up 40 companies. And, you should be fine because ultimately they don't care and they would let you go for any reason. So there is an I in team. It's hidden in the A if you use the right font. Oh, I don't have that many fonts to go by. The computer's too old. The different fonts. It's the Helvetia font I never click on. In the 70s, extreme upper 50s, Tommy Cash, what are you trying to say? We took a family road trip long before I was born and headed down to Disney World, like 30 years before they invented Epcot Center. Mr. Sunshine Baby is covering the Freedom Convoy. All right. Yeah, there's like 60 of them here. I found one's leaving on the 23rd of February. One leaves March 5th. One leaves March 7th. I don't know what to believe. So will anything happen here? I don't know. A few cops showed up in Canada and everybody left other than a few drivers, and they arrested a few. And if you love this, the tow truck companies covered the name of the tow truck company on the trucks and everything, and had all the drivers in complete like ski masks, like they were robbing a bank, so that you couldn't identify everybody. Now I'll tell you what, that is being a scumbag. If you are going to go work for the government, people, at least I believe in this country, have a right to know who the government is paying, because the government paid them to tow the trucks. They talked about it. So somebody should file a Canadian Freedom of Information Act, which is called an Freedom of Information Act A, and find out who those tow truck companies are. That's how it always works out. That's how it worked out in World War II in Germany. Government said do something, so everybody went and did it. And I knew that would happen. Right? It only came down to a few dozen people, really. Prime is the one encouraging all their new drivers to make channels promoting the training program. Yeah, but I don't think they want them filming when they're driving over there. Companies are just really tightening down on that because they never know what people are going to say. And it's a liability. The Hammer gets a hold of one of those videos. Oh my gosh, he'll be on top of a truck making a video about that. I wouldn't want a rookie driver to be vlogging and live streaming while driving my $150,000 truck. Well, that's true. You also don't want that to be brought up in a court case. That's the real liability of it. Now, I get filming and you boot in post, you do a voiceover, you aren't interacting with it in any way. That's like pulling a dash cam video. That's different. You're not doing anything with the video. But these drivers were interacting with the video while they're driving. You can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that. Companies will find that out, and I think they'll fire people for it. I-65 South at 256 truck fired. Great. Great. Right up by Chicago. Well, Hammond. Prime benefit from free publicity. They do, just kind of like Tesla. They benefit from it, but anytime it goes bad, you're done with it. They're done with you. Schneider reported to the DAC on those fired drivers for unsafe driving. Right, TZT, that's exactly correct. And you have little recourse because that's Schneider's opinion that it's unsafe driving. And that's why they got fired. That's a problem. That's a real problem. If you want to do them while you're driving, talk to them. Doing a video while you're not interacting, that's a different story. Do I have to keep telling you that you love you too? Yes. I'm very insecure, so absolutely. Just like the cat. Going to Matt's, we will race there. Yes, I will be at Matt's. Matt's is March 24th to 26th. So I'll be there probably Friday, Saturday. That's what I'm looking at right now. I hope to see everybody down there at Mid-America Truck Show on March 24th and 26th. How about that? I hope you get your tickets. You got another week to get free tickets. So if you're even thinking about going to Mid-America Truck Show, you have one more week to get free tickets. Starting March 1st, they charge you $10 a ticket. So conductor on a freight train is the guy in charge. He's responsible for making up and switching cars. He tells the engineer to go forward and back. Forward. The engineer does not move without his direction. Really? I love it. Make it so. 10 feet forward. Boy, that guy's busy. Hooks the cars together. Hooks up conjunctions and injections and everything. Adverbs, add words. Puts together the cars. Gets the tickets. Tells the engineer, man, what's the new law for hazmat? Well, if you want to get your hazmat endorsement, and I've never gotten it before, you will have to be trained by an approved facility before you go take your test. Isn't that great? For those of you that do not have hazmat, if you need a sundial to attach to your hood, old drivers don't erase. We had a cab over in the old days. Wait, I thought Mars was a hologram. Well, see, we don't know. We're not there yet. If we were there, if I was living there, I would know. But I can't go there because I have to waste my tax money providing dry cheese sandwiches to people. Is there really a 25-hour split 3 ways with Sierra England? Oh, that's it. It's 25, but you got to split it with the other 2 people in your truck. That's very good. I never thought about that. I wish that driver would get that in writing or elaborate on what they meant by $25 an hour. I know it's Mr. Somewhere. Now they have completely done a full 180 and violate. I don't have those regulations in front of me. How are they violating the regulations? Alexander, hey, Trucking Answers, checking in from Fairmont, Minnesota. All right. What is it, 10 below zero up there today? Probably not. Probably warm up there today. The reason the Garmin G1000 is so expensive because it's a full automated system. Oh, all right. I wish they had that for a truck. It has 21.2-inch TV screens with a moving map on one and flight control on the other. All right. Well, that makes a little more sense. Plus, the vehicle it's in costs a little more than a truck too. So, the Rock and the Duo suggests he was told to a very new driver. The Schneider representative told Drive that was another reason for firing him. Right, but he didn't get it in writing. He doesn't have that in writing. New driver reordered that phone call. Hilarity ensued. It depends on the state. Get it. Tell him. Write that to me. If the earth was flat, wouldn't Gracie knock stuff off the edge when she's awake? And I will tell you, some companies like Schneider and some of these companies have a policy that you cannot record the phone call. Meaning that if you record the phone call, they can terminate you. Okay? They have that policy here. Right? Among many companies where people have sent me their driver manual. I was surprised, and I see it in other driver manuals. So recording that and using that against them can get you terminated. That's why you tell them to write it to you. Send it to me in writing. Text me, and then we will do it. Hey, what's up, dog? Paul Cruz. Hey, what's up? Million Mile, you could take it to our online course from an accredited school that satisfies hazmat. Not much has changed. All right. No problem. Good afternoon. Happy Roll Arena Monday. GP Transco's here. What's going on, GP Transco? Ready for another snowstorm this week to go rescue everybody from the Remington, Indiana area? I hope so. Confucius say he who makes a park place for trucking owns a monopoly. Free parking is a courtesy from truck stops. They can charge what they want. I totally agree with that, Million Miler. I've always said they can charge anything they like. Absolutely. They don't have to let you park there at all. They can say, get out of here. I totally agree. It's the idea of who pays for it. The owner of the truck pays for the expenses of the truck. Stop signs have to be 7 feet between the bottom of the sign and the road. Most private signs are not the correct dimensions. Oh, that might be another problem. That's one reason my videos avoid the negativity and avoid any camera within footage. Exactly. And so you're all right on it. You're not doing anything with the camera when it's recording. Is 75 to 80 cents per mile the going rate? That's a pretty good rate, I would say anymore. Gracie sleeps too much to knock stuff off. She is sleepy a lot. She's in the back looking at birds today. I have that all opened up for her again. But she'll be sleeping soon. Any thoughts about Hirschbach buying JCT? I did see Hirschbach bought JCT. They said there's actually a couple of owner-operators at JCT that are profitable. One made $42 last week, so that's pretty impressive. So I don't know why they did that. That makes them a pretty large carrier in the refrigerated segment. I will say that. So they had like 900 trucks. It added 900 trucks. I didn't know JCT had that many trucks. It'd be interesting to see if they change the pay or anything like that. If JCT drivers get in on the 99-cent fuel that Hirschbach scams people into, I'm not sure. Post every paycheck. There are some that aren't good ones, but overall they work out. Midlife trucker, you don't have any checks where you're grossing or where you're netting in the fours, I don't think. $400 a week for a full week's work. That's what this driver's posting, and that's what I'm saying. When you start posting checks like that, people get really nervous about coming to a company. I know not every check's $3,000, but I mean, once the check's less than people make at a McDonald's, that makes the company pretty upset about it. Confucius say man who loses key to girlfriend's apartment gets no new key. Ah. Play loves Mars, especially their M&Ms. The company I lease the owner up. The company I lease to, the owner tells you in writing, no media. They will pull your lease. See what you, okay. And I do think they should tell you that up front. Hey, this is the policy here. Or if they're going to change it, they say starting this date, we change our policies. So things before that. But I will tell you, one of the drivers that was fired recently admitted in one of his videos that he knew that they were going to fire him for it. So if you know that, I guess you know it then. You know, when you know, you know. Isn't that what the song says? So I agree. If you're willing to go down that road, then you go down it. UP Trucker Bob, goodness. Trucking from LA to Houston. All right. Fuel price is ridiculous on the West Coast. Blew 2 brake chambers on consecutive days, hoping for some better luck this week. Stay safe. Thanks, Mark, for all you do. Goodness, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. If you're coming this way, if you ever get those brakes fixed, we're going to have some snow here later this week. You're probably doing better than that, though. Wow, 2 brake chambers. How much is a brake chamber anymore? Had the police called on me for a noise ordinance, saying no idling. Truck told the officer my truck isn't idling. It's my APU. He left grumbling, and I got a no ticket. No idling. You can idle an APU, geez. Windows 95 is a pain. It can be a problem. You don't get a lot of fonts with it. I hope to upgrade from 3.11 Windows for Workgroups soon. Paying for parking isn't required. It's an option if you want to plan your day and drive a little later. Drivers can choose to shut down earlier if they want. It depends on where you're going and stuff like that. I agree. All I'm saying is if there's an expense with the truck, it should be paid by the owner of the truck or whoever is benefiting from the truck profit-wise. Right before my dad retired, he told me they can't shove things up you if you're sitting on it. I don't know what kind of, if that's a good line or not. Maybe. I'd have to think about that. Remember, Hershey fired all their employees that refused the jab. Did Hershey do that? Tyson did, because you can't get Tyson in the store anymore. There's no Tyson cooked chicken in the store at all yesterday. Nothing. No one meant that truck is mine. The problem with the Convoys is no one can really name the specific issue. That's a problem. Everyone just tells me that I should jump on board. Yeah, get in on this. But here's our issue. The thing is, each convoy, that all starting at different days, all have a different issue. We want this, and then this other one wants that, and they're all scattered around. They're all going different directions. They got to get together. You got to have one defined, thing, and you're going one line. I don't know if anything's going to come of it here. And you saw what they did in Canada. Snipers on the rooftops. They're trying. They said for the next few weeks they're going to find out who it was and go after them, sell their equipment, and lock their bank accounts up. So it isn't even over there yet. That's freedom. Don't ever come to me from Canada and tell me how free you are up there again. I don't know what the Canadian Constitution, if they have one, says about protesting, but I'll tell you what. If you can burn down Minneapolis, you certainly can sit around and have bouncy houses out in front of the Capitol. Heck, you could eat a burger with no seatbelt and sunglasses on at night with a flip-flops if you're the owner. Companies got policies that worker drivers shouldn't be vlogging while driving. Look, if they got a policy, then it's a policy. You either agree to it or go work somewhere else. I agree. I totally agree. If you see a stop line and the word stop painted on the pavement, it cannot be enforced. An officer told me a stop sign must be erected. Did he say that? To be legally enforced. Did you need a stop sign? Prime's training is team driving, not training midlife trucker. Yeah, right. I mean, for Prime to say anything to a driver and then to like, oh, this is unsafe, and then you team train people with the other person sleeping, they're like the height of hypocrisy over there. And Schneider isn't any better. Schneider tells you early and often at orientation, no phones. I know you can't use a phone at all. You can hold a CB on all day and talk to all your good buddies, though. And I don't know why people there don't use the CB as a phone. CBs, Cobras, some of them, these other ones have Bluetooth. That'll Bluetooth your phone. Why don't you make a call through the phone? Is that allowed? Windows 95 was a pain. Oh, I hope to upgrade. Would not be surprised if people have infuriated some truck groups in order to do violence and discredit the protest. Oh, there's tons of that. When you go to some of these sites, especially on Facebook with these groups, there's tons of all kinds of weird posts and stuff in there. I mean, it's all taken over by a bunch of disaster. Why hasn't the Queen stepped in on what Trudeau is doing? She has the COVIDs. They actually said that the other day. So she's sick. And could she do that? I don't know how that works in Canada. What if she said, hey, you can't do this? Can she overrule him? and say, listen, Trudeau, you got nothing going on me? I don't think so. Maybe? What does the Tory think about that? Not sure. I love that line right down his face, too. I'm not sure. Can the Queen just come in and say something, or does he run the country? Didn't the government force the tow companies to tow the trucks? They did, yes. But you still couldn't say no to it. But I was watching Fox News when they played the government of Canada stating the force they would pull their licenses and funds. Yeah, look, so you say I'm not doing it. What is the government going to do? I mean, you can either do it or not. Think about this. In World War II, Hitler forced a lot of people to do stuff too. Or did he? Can you not do things that are wrong? I mean, ultimately, it's your decision to do whatever, in my opinion. Okay, so you have to make a decision on what you're going to do. And if the tow companies didn't mind doing it, they shouldn't have covered up their trucks. I'm surprised these company drivers can eat a cookie while driving with the dash cams. They got driver manager cookie patrol cracking down too. Yeah, that's true. We used to have maps on the steering wheels and stuff. Now people can't even eat a decent sandwich while they're driving. Nothing wrong with a cold one and a roller wiener after a long, hard day. That's absolutely true. Schlitz, it's the refreshment. My brother-in-law asked me if Prime was a good place. I said, if you like moving us like a snail and doing a lot to work for free, that's very good. Did he end up going there? Going to Matt's on the crack hound. Oh, yikes. Don't take the crack on to Matt's. That's no way to show up there. Do we need to pick you up at the bus station? You're confusing passenger commuter train operations with freight trains. I assume the conductor takes tickets on all the trains. He goes down boxcar to boxcar and gets tickets from the hobos. Is that we never had it before? So if I let my hazmat endorsement expire, since I've had it, I still won't have time to take the new class to get them back. See, that's the thing. I was not actually clear about that. It says new hazmat, but I don't know if they consider new to be someone who never had it or someone who had it and has let it expired. Is that also a new hazmat? So honestly, I'm not actually clear about whether if you let it expire, whether you have to go to a class or take any kind of online class to take it, or if they consider you being grandfathered because you used to have it and currently don't have it. There's another guy who drove for Wisconsin Express Lines, WEL. They told him to stop making videos, so he left the company. Well, that's another thing. They can say this, no, and you say, I quit. It's their truck. And they'll cry if they want to. If the company has a predetermined route that you must drive, then it should be a dispatcher's responsibility to brief weather and all the drivers every morning. I think it's their responsibility anyway, and that's why Werner got in trouble, a year or two ago for that lawsuit, where they lost $79 million. A car slid across the highway and crashed into a Werner truck that was driving on bad roads in Nebraska or something. And Werner got sued and lost because the idea was, hey, number one, your drivers are supposed to be professionals. They should have been parked. But Werner actually has meteorologists on staff. And not just the kind that do just the stars, but meteorologists that predict the weather. And they didn't tell the drivers to stop driving. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Now, Werner is appealing that. I thought we've already been to Mars. Pretty sure we got a lot of chocolate from there in the Mars bar. Well, but we only send robots. I'm ready to move there. You look tired today. Oh, really? I'm refreshed from the weekend, believe me. If a guy with no arms uses his cell phone by holding it with his foot, can you still be charged with the ticket for not being hands-free? Oh, that's very good. Because how would he put a headset on his head? Both the Queen of England and Trudeau are reptilians. There are people that think that. They stick together. I'm just curious, could the Queen say something? Going to have to check Ritchie Brothers auction for the protesters' trucks after they got seized. I heard they might auction them off. That is what they said. That's the thing. So you protest, and what do? Close your bank accounts, auction your truck off, all that stuff. Yeah, great. Great. Isn't that awesome? Anti-vaxxers. That's what they're called in the media, even though 90% of truck drivers in Canada are vaccinated. Now, one of the fire drivers says he's getting with a small company that's going to allow him to keep his YouTube channel. How is that possible, the violation policy? Oh, on his DAC. The DAC doesn't mean anything because the DAC is kind of like a credit report in that a company can still hire you and do whatever they want. So like you could still get a loan. They just don't. Most places won't. But a company doesn't even have to check your DAC. Not all companies use it. They could read it and go, we don't believe it or we don't care about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference that way. It's not a legal document. It's just a company's opinion of what you did. So good. I'm glad for him. Do you like the Lafayette Brewing Company? I worked there when attending Purdue. I don't know anything about it. I don't drink at all. So I don't know. My experience with the drive-in came from Werner, but I never got west of Omaha, being out 6 months straight. Yikes. They got souls up to 50 miles, get beer loads, and bring them to a terminal for teams. Yeah, go back. That's like a local job. They should have some dude in a day cab do that all day. Actually, they'd probably get people to do it. Prime allows filming a video, but it's limited to 57 frames per second. Even that goes slow. At least with Mountain, I've seen all the states, all multiple times. It's tough to get to Maine, but I've been all the way to Bangor. I know, that's crazy. I never managed to get anywhere near there in a flatbed. Some parts of California cannot idle or use an APU. What kind of garbage is that? The truck says idle compliant or whatever. Even my truck says it's got that sticker. So I thought that was a California sticker. I don't know if the APU has a sticker on it. I never looked at it. I don't think so. I think it just says carrier on it. Isn't it violating the regulation? Because if it's legal to record while hands-free and they're getting fired for obeying what the FMCSA says. No. No, because a company can have a stricter rule than the FMCSA. They just can't have a looser rule. So they can say absolutely no recording. Just like Schneider or other companies can say no talking on the phone, even hands-free. They can absolutely do that. It's just more strict. So even though you're not violating the law, you're violating a company policy, which they're allowed to do, and they can fire you for it. What should happen is drivers should just not work there. Most are not fired. They always are leave without pay. Yeah. I'll be at the truck show this year, Aviator Trucker. All right, I'm going to fly in. Wow. Probably have to get an Uber from the airport. Wow. Really? What are you going to fly in? Canada could not give in to the convoy. If they did, next week they have another protest. The following week, another cause. Midlife trucker. Oh, right. Right. Eventually, people would actually get what they want. Imagine that. That's why that convoy shouldn't have given in. You can't go out there and say, we will stay here no matter what, and then a few cops show up and you go, all right, we're leaving. You're either in it or you're not in it. In some states like Georgia, it's illegal to use your phone to record while driving, even if hands-free. You can use a camera, but not a phone. Oh, that's weird. How's your wife? Is she feeling better? Joan Harper. Yes, she will have surgery probably in April. So she has an appointment March 15th or something like that. So, yeah, 12th, right in there. And otherwise, she's just relaxing and probably will not emerge from the house until sometime in the spring. Look at the Canadian money. Look who's on the front. Isn't all their money have the coin on it, though? In different shapes. If all Schneider drivers decide to park in one big truck stop parking lot, would that make it a pumpkin patch? Well, they'd all be wrecked into each other. Canada brought tow trucks in from Michigan. I know Whitmer, the beautiful governor from Michigan, said, hey, you can use some of our tow trucks. Either way, look, if you want to make money and say, oh, this is, which people said, well, this is capitalism. Well, then go on out there and tow the trucks. Don't go hide. Don't go hide like you're afraid. Get out there. And no respect for that. At least I'd respect them if they were out there. Hey, well, I drove and had that driver-facing camera, never got into trouble. Some companies don't care. It depends. If you're like munching, like probably like a bowl of spaghetti with silverware, which I see people, everybody sees is holding a bowl of spaghetti. That's one thing. And, having like a roller arena or a tornado, it might be another thing. What in tarnation is going on? What in tarnation is going on around here in this place? I leave for 2 minutes. You guys are jumping around. You all know the words. What I understand, even if they said no, the government would still force them to do the work of towing the trucks. No. The reason they earn money from the government contracts. Then you just say, I don't want your contract. I'm not doing it. What are they going to do? Arrest everybody? They're just going to arrest everybody? Is this what we've come down to? So you have a contract, and so you're just beholden. Well, how's this different than being a slave then? Just because you're getting paid? The government could just force you to do something, and just because they pay you, forget it. Either stand up for something or don't. Do you know how the Ambassador Bridge between Canada and Michigan is privately owned? I didn't know that. Well, they should have to provide their own security for the bridge then. Well, you need to read everything until you find that answer out for me. Are you considering keeping your hazmat? I mean, it's not really clear. So, yeah, we'll look more into it. I haven't looked that much into it, but I actually thought about that. I wonder if people that have had it and it's expired, if they'll have to test again. What are people's opinions about that here? There's people that are a lot better on this than me. So you had a hazmat. It's expired now, but you used to have one. Is that considered grandfathered? Because it says new. Canada's no constitution. All right. Well, I guess that ends that then. Oh, sorry, they're communists then. I mean, what governs them then? What do they govern? Just whatever the Queen says? Meaning Trudeau. Huh. There, what's he going to do to me about it? Nothing. I heard you went to truck school before and then you can just take the hazmat test. If you didn't go to school, then you need to take a hazmat course. I don't know about that. It was hazmat, school bus, right, passenger, or getting a license. There's a video on my TikTok. Oh, hipster. One of those professional Werner drivers blowing past me on a 2-lane, no passing zone. Nice. Isn't that awesome? He's got stuff to do. He doesn't have time to be wasting around. And what are the truck drivers to do when they find out what company towed their truck? I'm not saying they have to do anything. I'm saying if you're going to go out there and say, all right, we're going to tow trucks, then why do you got to hide? If you think it's right that they tow, and I will tell you, there were a lot of people that wanted the trucks towed, and a company saying, we'll tow them or whatever, well, then go out there and tow the trucks, okay? But don't hide. Don't say, oh, we're doing this because they're making me do it. No, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about that. That's the problem with people is that, well, the government told me to do it, so I'm going to do it. That's where we get into a lot of problems. Would I get remarried if anything happened to your wife? No. One wife, one life. Queen's role over Canada is ceremonial. Well, okay, so she can come and do some kind of ceremony to Trudeau. I'm all with that. Can't she behead him? When did that stop? Can we have this? Is she allowed to do that? That's all I'm asking. The Queen can dissolve Parliament just like with a wave of her hand? Oh, that'd be interesting to do. I'm an anti-vaxxer. Did you call me? Well, that wasn't even the case up there for the drivers. They were just saying anti-mandate. The press put it out as anti-vax, and that was not the case. It's all anti-mandate, just like here, just like for me. The government doesn't get to mandate you do things. If a company doesn't check the DAC, they have to verify by calling the company. Most companies will not. Not every company uses DAC, and most companies will not talk to you because of lawsuits. Like here, they don't talk to anybody. They have electronic verification. Dates only. Start, end, period. They will not do anything here. They're afraid of being sued by everybody. That's all you can verify here. When the person started, when they quit. That's it. My training experience, Millis didn't have me cross I-35. Okay, so you didn't get out west either. See, that's the thing. I didn't get any training, but starting out on a flatbed, I never really got west of I-57. I would say, really, I-55 maybe. That's it in a flatbed. Never west of that. Took years to get west. I didn't know there was a west. I thought how the west was won. I thought they meant, East St. Louis. The best truck drivers could do is write a rude petition to the towing company. You could. You could write a rude petition to the company. Yeah, you could write them a letter or encourage people not to go there. You could if you wanted to. I think if they're being paid by the government, I don't know how Canada works, we ought to have a right to know who the government is paying. That's all. The food is good at the Lafayette Brew Company, not just good beer. Oh, okay. Well, that's fair enough. That's somewhere downtown. I've heard a lot of commercials for it stuff. I've lived here for quite a while, so. The California idle exempt is good for the state, but a few counties and municipalities like Ontario have made it tighter. Well, then what's the point of having that stupid exempt thing on the truck, even though my truck doesn't idle? I mean, what do they expect you to do? See, no driver should sit there then. That has to be the solution. I can't wait there because I'm going to die of heat exhaustion. Roger Penske, holy foo-foo, I'm late. Yeah, where you been? Good morning, Mark. Dark 688. Full-blown blizzard up here in Spokane. Great. Weather's having its last before it's over. Hey, it's not over yet. It's still like a month of spring. Actually, a month today, right? David Palmisano. Why are vaccinated people asking for their freedom back? They already demonstrated what their freedom is worth to them. Nothing. Well, people can choose whatever they want. That's what freedom is. People get to choose. So if they choose that, then they choose it. And you should be able to choose it like everybody else. That's freedom. Mark doesn't drink. He lays in the bathtub for an hour to get his hydration and just soak it all up. That's all I got to drink all day. Some companies post weather and traffic on their Facebook pages to keep drivers updated. Decker's one of them. That's a great idea. Really, if you're going through bad weather, they should update you. And once in a while, which is very rare, I'll get some kind of stupid message on the tablet. But you can't read it when you're driving. Okay, everything's locked out. So you would have to stop and look at it. And then it'll say something like, Amarillo, Texas is icy, starting somewhere nowhere near where I am. It doesn't have anything to do with me. And this big backup here, they didn't announce that at all. George Costanza, PSA important, please do not buy the new Blue Parrot 650. The 450 was the best iteration. 650 are not worth it. Really? What's wrong with the 650? I didn't even know they had a 650. That must be brand new. Bajaway waits the rear of Roger Penske's birthday, 85. Oh, congratulations. Congratulations, 85. Wow. Canadian drivers can say, okay, we'll leave, then come back tomorrow. Well, they're blocking off downtown, just like they're fencing off the White House for the State of the Union address. If you saw, they're putting the fences back up. Shortages are real. Babyland General, the Cabbage Patch Kids have only 50 babies and no boy clothes. That's a disaster. There was no cat food at all. No cat canned food at all. And Meijer, worth getting. I'm like, well, yikes, I'm going to have to start ordering cat food. 561 Roadrunner. What's up, Mark? American turning in from the ATL. ATL. See, I'm hip enough to know that's Atlanta. Okay. All right. My dad is getting radiation for a small cell non-aggressive colon cancer. Million miler. All right. I hope he does all right on that. I'm glad that they're back doing that kind of stuff again. If they get that stuff early, it's supposed to be okay, right? I think. Not sure if I'll keep it. I heard the price was going way up too. Oh, I've got it for 3 years to go though. Really? Some companies will pay it. So if you do get on somewhere before it expires, a lot of companies that require you to have it do pay for it. So that's a nice benefit. I remember this company during orientation had footage of a guy wolfing down a salad with a fork on a bumpy road. Hey, you see, at least he's eating a salad. He was bouncing everywhere, but I thought, man, that's a lot of skill. Right. If he's staying in his lane and he's eating a salad, so not only is he's practicing safe driving, he's also showing, how to eat healthy. So maybe it was like a video for people to watch to learn. Kelly just got done with pre-employment drug screen. Really? How's that going to go? Glad your dad caught that early. Yeah, the earlier the better, they say on that stuff. So, of course, that'd be for everything. Canada doesn't have a constitution. The poster is incorrect. The new Canadian Constitution was passed in 1982. Well, can people protest there? Do we have like a First Amendment there? Or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and petition their government for redress of grievance shall not be infringed? Does it say anything like that? I had my has-been endorsement from the first time I got my CDL. That was in 95. I let it expire in 17. I think I should be grandfathered. See, I don't know, Sultan Marie. I'm not sure. It expired. So it didn't really suggest whether or not you get to be grandfathered since you had it. I don't know if they consider that new or not. Hey, Mark, I'm working for a Variant, a.k.a. U.S. Express, and I'm milking them for money. All right. How's it going at Variant? That's way better than U.S. Express. Do they keep you running and do they get you home? If the Queen has no Sarah Trudeau, then what's the point of the family? Yeah, right. If she can't point at a guillotine and say do it or else, then what? I'll be alone the rest of my life. Better that way. I don't know if it's better that way. I think it's one person and that's it, for me. So, expired how long? See, we're out 5 years now out on the expiration. Matty Maroon used his own Ambassador Bridge. He died in 2020. He was the CEO of Central Transport. George H.W. Bush. Really? They own the bridge? What a way to make money. That's a really interesting way to make money. But see you now live on the West Side. Jokes on them. Yeah, exactly. I had no idea Dollar General had a private fleet. They do. I hauled Dollar General loads for Werner and delivered to the stores throughout the Midwest. They do have their own private fleet, and it pays way more than Werner doing the same thing. So you're way better off on the DG private fleet. They do hire. For those of you at the truck show, that's where I first found out about it myself. They will have a booth there, and you can talk to them at the truck show in Mid-America. Generally, they have a booth. My training, yeah, here's the keys and don't wreck it. Exactly. It's Mr. Plows here. What's going on? I knew a girl who lived up in Maine and used to go to Maine a lot, but I never got to bang her. Very good. Do we really believe a tow company has morals? They could. Just because the government tells you to do something, I don't think that's a good reason to do anything. Look how that has gone over our lives as we interred whole groups of people in World War II. I mean, people are just horrible. They can't think for themselves at all. Look at Germany. I mean, I think there's pretty good proof that Because the government tells people to do something, they'll just do it. Is that what you want, a police force that just does whatever the government says? Look how that worked out in Germany. Not great. And everybody that got tried later at The Hague or whatever, well, I was just doing what I was told. All right. Your tablet won't read messages to you. No. It's just a $49 Samsung tablet, and they have to replace them all the time because they're really not made for the weather. So they freeze and overheat in the summer, and probably every few months they break, and you have to go inside and get another one. You just give them that one, they give you another one. They have a box of them. You just plug that one in and start with that one. Yeah, no, it doesn't read anything to you. Dollar General was a great workout, hand-loading trailers of floor-loaded freight. And really hone your backing skills. You had to be a magician. I know. I see them parked around here at the DGs and stuff. Small. I'm always like, oh, that's pretty good. Do you think the USA would be better off if we were a sovereign state like Luxembourg, established after a Treaty of Vienna? Wow, that's a pretty deep question. We should supposedly be sovereign, right? Love Dollar General. Great job, but Werner was trash. You'd be better off on the DG account. Can bus drivers be considered line haul drivers? That's pretty good. Bus drivers. They need bus drivers here. If you have a pet in the truck, you can idle, so get a pet. I don't know about that. People say that, but I don't see that written anywhere. I'm debating on buying a used Toyota RAV4 or that new Corolla Cross. Well, the Corolla Cross is smaller, but it's new. And can you get one? A used one, if it's certified, usually has a better warranty. So think about that. Sometimes you can get a 100,000-mile warranty on a certified car. If they're not certified, then no. You'll either fly in a Cessna 182 RG or a Piper Arrow. Wow. Wow, nice. 182 RG. Retractable gear. Better off ordering pet food online. I get my dog's food delivered once a month. Wow. At least I'd be able to get it. That's the thing of it. I might start having to do that because at least I'd be able to get the cat food. I can't get it. The Georgia no phone call recording is bull. I've crossed Georgia way station with my phone was mounted in the truck windshield and the DOT didn't say anything when I rolled across. Well, that's the thing. Sometimes the DOT doesn't say anything, but even where it's mounted is probably not allowed. It just depends what they do. And I agree, you should be able to record anything in public. I don't think that would stand, but it'd be worth fighting. It's cheaper. It probably is cheaper, too, to get a whole case of it at a time. The only weather report that Holland Enterprises gives in the winter time is that they're going home at 10 because it's a blizzard in Mapleton. It's so bad here, we're leaving. So you're all on your own till tomorrow. Charter of Rights and Freedoms Canada. All right, so they do kind of have a constitution. Does it allow for peaceful protests? Amarillo. Every time I hear that city, I think of the song Amarillo by Morning. What other city do people do this to? A lot of them. If you want to fix problems in California, stop taking loads there. You have to starve the stupid out of them. Tell your company no. You could. I mean, eventually that has to be the case. If they don't allow idling, then you tell the company I can't go there. I just can't go there. They don't allow me to idle. I'm not going to sweat to death in the truck. See, the company has to care, and they can't care more than you care. So you got to make your problem their problem. That's how you get a company to bend. Make your problem their problem. Canada has a constitution, and the Charter of Rights is included as part of that. I sent you a link to the Charter of Rights, but it has the notwithstanding clause. Notwithstanding. Off with his wiener. Yeah, exactly. And it's so cold there, that's going to be a problem for that big blade. I wish I could just buy a truck straight out and sign it with Landstar. You probably can buy a truck. I don't know if you can sign it with Landstar. I don't know why you couldn't buy a truck. I don't think they have. It's like buying a car. You don't need any experience to go buy a car. I became Hindu just so I can have an extra set of arms to eat and going down the road. That's good. And remember, like Apu says, you can't kill a Hindu. Most tollways in America are owned by China companies, like the Indiana Toll Road. Right. Midlife Trucker, the owner of the Ambassador Bridge, does not make money. He was a billionaire who built it because two governments wouldn't. It's philanthropy? Oh, well, then why did they charge to go across it? Who gets the money from the tolls? Is it just enough tolls to maintain it kind of thing, like a non-profit? Canada's communist, no different than China or Russia. Canada does not have a Bill of Rights. Apparently not. If they can post snipers and basically ruin your life because you threaten the fact that you don't like what they're doing. Had a random drug and alcohol test, and the alcohol test was a swab. Really? Like a swab, you mean? They don't usually do the alcohol test here. Usually you get a random, it's just a drug test. Remember, for those of you that don't know, random tests and have to be logged. So I don't know whether you're going to log it, but it is a logged item. It's listed by the FMCSA as logged time. Abilene, the prettiest town I've ever seen. Oh, I don't remember that. That's way old school. I remember I was living to the Dollar General in McHenry, Illinois when 911 happened. Wow. I was going to Chicago then. I was waiting in Chicago for a load. And coming back, I remember no planes. And I saw Bush fly over because it was him and 2 escort fighters headed to D.C. And I thought, wow, that's pretty interesting. I was probably in ironically Schneider, Illinois. Schneider, Indiana, coming down 41 there. Yeah, Schneider, Indiana. And I remember seeing the plane. I thought, oh, that's pretty interesting. There was a driver who tried to buy a truck from Schneider. They told him he had to lease it from them even though he had a full amount. He ended up going to Swift to buy a Kenworth with no lease. Why wouldn't they take his money? Because then they don't have any control over him. That could be. The ELD tablet, I had read all the info to you. That would be a company that cares. Here, it'll just beep at you. And that's it. And you're like, oh, I have a message. Unless you're stopped, it won't do anything. You can't do anything with it until the truck stops. Because, safety, right? Safety. So even though you get a message, you can't do anything with it. I heard there's a Dollar General on Mars. Well, that stinks. So I can't go to that Dollar General because I'm not there. Hopefully they're getting replacement parts for all the broken down cars that we have up there. My brother used to be in Parliament, and he switched to Marlboro. Parliament. Werner was trash and is still trash, but you have to start somewhere, I guess, and work on something better once you build up some experience. If you can get somewhere and stay there a year, you got it made, no matter where it is. Even Western Express. If you could stay at Western Express a year, I mean, you wrote your own ticket. On the bright side, we weren't having to run Mad Max style on armored truck convoys yet. Mr. Somewhere, yet. That day's coming. Push planes to start rattling off steel horse. I've seen some companies that do this right, and it'll read the whole message to you and everything, yeah. No, not here. That probably costs extra, too, to integrate it in the truck when you can just go to Best Buy and buy 50 tablets. I ain't got no panties on must be the first thing you say when DOT asks for your CDL. Exactly. That way they know you're a real driver. 481 miles from Atlanta to Richmond should be there at 104. For the Can Americans, 104. In Germany, the reason people listen was Hitler provided food and jobs. Oh, that sounds like here. And by commissioning the Autobahn, he brought people out of poverty before he went nuts. Yeah, look, I think the government here provides a lot of services to people too. Like jobs and food through SNAP. Yeah, that sounds like the same kind of thing. What do they provide in Canada? Free medical care. Wow, a lot of stuff they provide. So people might listen to them here too. Yeah, that's always a problem, isn't it? How is Variant better than U.S. Express? Well, they pay more. Variant does not have their own terminals. They use U.S. Express terminals. And they don't have their own trailers. Well, they do use U.S. Express trailers. There are some Variant trailers. They aren't pulling U.S. Express loads, so it's the same company. It's better. It pays more. You're not dispatched by a dispatcher. It's all automated dispatching. The pay's higher, and they actually get more miles. They did a big thing about it. The Variant drivers get more miles than U.S. Express drivers running the same kind of freight because they're dispatched better. So I think that's pretty interesting that they are able to do that. Once had a dog named Cheyenne after Cheyenne, Wyoming. That's pretty good. What kind of dog was that? Had you ever been to Cheyenne, by the way, at that point? Oh, let's see. And I've lost my little spot there. Oh, right there. When I first started trucking, I was making 18 cents a mile as a student at 24 cents solo. Eventually worked my way to 28 cents. It was slave wages back then. That's right. The problem with the Canadian protests is they blocked a bridge in the city. The people that live there, work there, and travel there have rights too. Well, they do. Interesting. Idle all night long. That's funny because some things like that happened here too, it seems, and those were not considered to be disruptive in any way. They were considered to be transformative and peaceful. That's how I'm rating that. When those kind of things happened here, like, I don't know, it seems like the people that work there have rights. I guess, like, if you own a business and it gets burned down or, that kind of, you might have rights too. But that was just just something that needed to be done. I'll idle all night long with the Korean Mafia, and elsewhere in California, it's absolutely no problem. And the chips don't care. Good. And your company doesn't care either, right? They just let you run the truck. I have no credit score because I have no debt. No down payment either. That's a problem. I think your first truck you probably need a down payment on. Unless you get that special, that back row special. Y'all heard about the driver getting a ticket for being hit by a plane on Asian My Show. I did hear about I didn't see it on Asian My. I read a story, it was actually in the news, that a driver was driving and a plane crashed into his truck. Didn't he die? Go to my channel where I covered that U.S. Express is going autonomous within the next few years and are testing them for the variant account. I think we're a long way from going completely autonomous trucks. Okay? Long way. It's not a few years. It's like decades. The two governments maintain the bridge with the toll money. All right, so it's just maintenance, kind of a nonprofit, and they say, here's your $10 or 15 queen bucks or whatever they're called. Implied consent in the clearinghouse, new requirements to get CDL, if then all the rules truck drivers need to follow. Is this freedom? Oh, it's never freedom, right? China does not actually own any toll road. They own the right to collect the tolls. So that's even better. They're J.G. Wentworth. It's your money. Use it all you want. They give the state money up front in consideration for payments in the future. I will gladly give you $5 for $10 Tuesday. I heard about it Million Mile, but I never went to his channel and watched it. Abilene by George Hamilton IV. I don't know. Is that a good one? Landstar is overrated. Giving any company 35% is crazy. Is that what they take? So you get 65% split? You should get 80% at least to you. If you own the truck, I think 80%. That's what I see people getting. I think you can do 80%. I didn't see the news coverage of the 9/11 attacks until I shut down for the night at the TA. The truck stop had a big bank of television. So I was sitting there waiting for my load and listening to WLS, Don Wade and Roma in the morning. You remember them? And then I don't remember who came on at 9. Jake Hartford? I don't remember who, but I would listen to WLS all day. Talk radio in Chicago. I've actually called into Don Wade and Roma a few times on the radio there. That was 8:90 a.m. And I remember the news broke in and said, oh, this is going on or whatever. And then all the planes stopped. I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. And that was a real problem. But I remember that. That's a day that you remember. It's kind of like a day that would live in infamy. Travel Loco's better rate than Landstar. Wow. That would say something. A Tyson truck in front of me on 30 West between Dallas and Texarkana. Scott Real. Tell him to get up here with that Tyson chicken because the several cases which are Tyson at Meyer, gone. Nothing. The pre-cooked chicken like strips and the breasts and all that are in the frozen section, done. Nothing. And remember, that driver in front of you is vaccinated. Together both was headed to McCook, Illinois to dump coal. Really, when I heard the news about 9/11, didn't want to go anywhere near Chicagoland. Well, the traffic was just normal. I was down on the south side, 130th and the Dan Ryan. Loading up down there near the Ford plant, as a matter of fact. And I thought traffic was just normal, like it normally was. We had just, ironically, it was 9/11, and I remember this because on 9/8, I bought a conversion van. So there you go. And right after that, they started 0%. They started 0% financing right after that. And I bought that E150 conversion van on 9/8. Like Friday, and then 9/11 Monday. Then they go to 0%. And I'm like, well, crap, I'm stuck at like 4.3% or whatever it was, 4.8% on the new van. So that I remember too. That was a pretty good van, by the way. How about when a company tells you the minimum and maximum times a pre-trip should take? Tells us 15 to 25 minutes. Now, I do whatever it takes. They're rating us on our time. See, I don't agree with that because, now, a company can do kind of stuff like that, but what if it takes you longer? That'd be what I would ask the company. What if it takes you longer than that? Okay, they like you to show at least 10 minutes here. They said they would like you to show 10 minutes because they don't think you can do it in less than 10 minutes. They don't think you're doing anything. But what if there's a problem and you still have to do stuff? That's the thing of it. They shouldn't be timing that stuff on it. So I would just ask them, what are you rating me on? So if it's 17 minutes, all that's going to happen is you're just going to sit there and let the timer time up. That's what I would do to make sure that it was always between 15 and 25 minutes. So here's a Chow and Golden Retriever, and yes, I had been to Cheyenne. All right, Chow and Golden. That's an interesting mix. Omnitracks read the message. Well, that would be something a company that likes to spend money on things would care about. Here, whatever the cheapest plan is, they're in. When I just get power windows, like in the last few years, they're not that big on having messages read to you. The people that work and live there have rights too. No, not anymore. Well, do they? Who has rights? Someone with no job is able to make more money than I do in Arizona. Housing, food, all free. And so those people are likely to maybe do something that the government might ask them to do, or they might pull those kind of benefits. Kind of like happened before. Yeah, see, that's a problem. I would say happy President's Day, but after the train wreck of the past year, I can't do it. Well, we should, because let Joe Biden, a known truck driver. So it is President's Day, and I do not get paid for today as a paid holiday. And after work, I think only the post office is closed, right? I know you can buy mattresses on the cheap too. I don't know why. I think because George Washington said a good mattress, a good night's sleep is the way to free a country. And so ever since then, it's been mattresses. What's that, a back row special? I mean, a back row special, especially in cars, is like a trade-in, and they put it in the back row because it's cheap, and they don't do anything to it to sell it. I've bought many back row specials. My Buick Electra Estate wagon that I had years ago was a $400 back row special at Webb Ford in Hammond, Indiana. So you just go to the truck lot and go in the back row and see what junk box is sitting back there and see what'll start. And you might be able to get a deal on something like that. It's possible. That's a back row special. It works in cars. They take a trade in and you go in the back row and see what's back there before they do anything to it and say, I'll take it. I'm late, but I'm Stan Dodge, but I'm here with my roller Wiener flavored coffee. Oh, I never thought about that. Maybe they have that for tea, because I drink my Earl Grey tea every day in my Dunder Mifflin cup. I was unloading in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and heard about 9/11. See, everybody remembers that day. Did you notice there were no planes that day? I think Landstar's 80-20. I think it is low. Gracie for president 2024. Should make a great president. I love Don Wade and Roma. That was a great show. I listened to that show for years because I used to go to Chicago all the time. I would call in sometimes in the morning and talk to Don Wade and Roma. Yeah, great show. Owning a bridge is a lot of responsibility. In fact, at the end of the day, it takes its toll. I heard it's an up and down kind of thing. Wiener wouldn't hire because I had no credit score. Really? That's right. I did hear some places are doing that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Really enjoy your live streams, Mark, and your experienced insight into this industry, and you acknowledge all the comments, which is great. Dark688. I appreciate that. I try to get to all comments on the show. I notice a lot of people don't do that, so I do try to get to them all. Sometimes I get behind, so I do apologize for that. Yeah, what if you don't have a credit score, why won't they hire you? What does that prove? What if your credit score is low? Do you need a certain credit score to work there? How about that? There was a time when I had a really low credit score. Would they have not hired me because of that? How about, do you come to work and are you a good driver? How about that? Why isn't that a thing? A song with the city's name. What about going through that big D and I don't mean Dallas? I don't know if that song, they do play that at the manhole. So I never miss a chance to go to Dairy Queen no matter what the weather is, even a blizzard. Ha! Tyson required the vaccine to pick up. I've heard that from other drivers have written in and said even to get in there as an outside person, meaning an outside carrier, you got to show something to get in. It's a problem. So the only solution is to not go there and let all their products sit around, and then they learn that you can't do that. Although I do think they have a right to do it, the other side of it is people have a right to not go there. I like conversion vans. We love that van. Having kids at home, way better than a minivan. So much room. You could put all your stuff in there. Just great. Just great. Totally would recommend a conversion van to anybody. 35% is high, but if you're getting significantly more per mile, is that a bad thing? Well, that depends, right? I guess what depends at the end of the week, how much goes in your pocket. So if their rates are higher, sure. Usually they're at the truck show in Mid-America and have a running load board. That's what they've had the last few times I've been there. So come to their booth and look at their load board. They'll show you what their rates are right there, where loads are, everything. Gentry & Sons is a good place to work. What's Gentry & Sons? I knew Canada had turned into Germany when France surrendered to them. Oh my gosh. France surrenders to everybody. I miss Don Wade in a Roma and sad about what happened to Don Wade. Then I would listen to Ro Khan show. That's right. Ro Khan came on in the afternoon. That's right. Ro Khan. If I was still up there at that time, I would get to listen to that. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I went to Milwaukee and then would come down to Chicago and pick up and then come back to Indianapolis. Tuesday and Thursday, I only went to Chicago and back. So it just depended. Some days I was earlier than others. When I drove for Steer England, their pre-trip rule was 6 minutes. No less than 6 minutes, right? So same thing. If you were ready or just started the truck in the thunderstorm, you just sit there for 6 minutes. It's just a dumb kind of rule. Cut Wiener, that's a good one. Oh, nice. Yeah, well, it would work too, wouldn't it? Landstar, you mean Landfool. I would rather, if I was an owner-operator, I would sign with either Bennett or Mercer. Landstar's a joke, and they have been. If the percentage is better. Mercer's flatbeds, right? Let Gracie eat mice if she could catch one. That's the good thing about a cat is you don't have any insect problems. When you're in your truck next, say, hello, Omnitrax. See if it answers you. It's not going to answer me. We don't have Omnitrax. They use Geotab here. So it's not going to, believe me, the truck isn't going to answer me. The post office is closed today, but so are the libraries. Oh, no. And I was going to go to the library today. Howdy, Mark. How many times during your trucking career have you put on snow chains? Because I have a question. One time of a couple of chains. So there you go. There's people here that have put chains on a lot more than me. And that was in Virginia to get into a truck stop. Those old 70s Buick Electras are classics. Beautiful. Very nice. There's one sitting at the Chevy dealer on I-74 just as you leave Indianapolis heading to the Natty. It's on the right side as you're leaving town, and you can see it sitting there in the parking lot. It's been there a couple of weeks. Somebody traded it in. It's an old 225 sitting out there. So it's probably 73, 72. Nice. County offices are closed. Well, all government offices. I bought a car from Carvana for work and got a Volvo XC60. It was the easiest process. Took 5 minutes. I will not buy a car that I cannot test drive. I do like XC60. I'm in. But for me, on a used car, I want to test drive. I test drive around 100 miles on a used car, take it to a mechanic for a full inspection on a lift, and then we'll talk about price. I'm not going to buy a car, and I don't care that the 7-day return or whatever. I'm not taking a car unless I want the car. And that takes a test drive and stuff. So because of that, Carvana for me is out. I lived in Bloomington, Indiana on 9/11. I'm sure you remember that day. Have a driver's license is a privilege, not a right. People do tell that to me, but I say traveling around the United States is your right to travel. I noticed all the turbines disappeared for a while after 9/11. Some of them did. That's true. Canadians, those are Canadians. When you're an owner-operator, you shouldn't be working by the mile anymore. And by the way, they disappeared, even though those are not the people that were a problem. Those are Sikhs, and they're our friends. So there. People think 35% is worth it because they're a load board. Landstar's all over the DAT board. Worst rates. The thing is, at the truck show, we can look at their rates. They'll have a live load board in mid-America. And we should go down there and look at their rates and see what it's paying versus the national average. Where's your co-host? She was out looking at birds earlier. I filled up the bird feeder again. It's warm out. There were tons of birds. Little bitty cardinals were out there eating. So she was having a field day with them, meaning she's got a stand there, and she's sitting on the stand looking at them. I pay cash for everything, and debt makes me nervous. It should. Right? It's not great. All I do is a car on debt, so because I don't want to drive around a back row special for my whole life. So we do have a nice car, at least a newer car, but that's it. Otherwise, no debt. Don't pass up on the back row special at the Manhole. Oh, they have a special this week, right? There was that Valentine special, too. What's a conversion van? So you used to be able to get a full-size van, a Savannah or an E150 or a Dodge, whatever the Dodge van, Tradesman or whatever, and they would convert it. A company would put all beautiful seats, huge pillowed seats in it, and the back seat turned into a bed, all kinds of track lighting. Mine had a TV VCR combo in it, so for everybody in the back seat to watch with remote. It had an input so you could plug in a PS2 or whatever at that time. Those were conversion vans. So you had the body of a van, and inside it was converted to be very nice inside and tons of room. An E150 way bigger than like a Windstar at that time, or Grand Caravan. You couldn't beat it for the room in it at all. Way gigantic. And we had that thing for years. Conversion van. They're hard to find now. Very hard to find conversion vans. Agreed, Joe, but the thing about it is at Lancer you have to rent their trailer and make rent payment. That comes out of your settlement. Oh, that's true. Any kind of rent payment. Conversion vans are gas guzzlers. Not really. That thing would get 11 in town easy. Easy, I got 11 in town. 16 on the highway. Is that a gas guzzler? Maybe. Mark said depends. I worked private security for the U.S. Army on 9/11. Oh, so you remember it well. Stranger in the night. He's word in the daytime, but stranger in the night. In 1974, I'm getting 16 cents at J.B. Hunt. 2003, I was getting 42 cents. That's not a great improvement. In all those years, in 40 years, I think you should have got more than 3 times the pay. At less than 3 times the pay. It should be $1 at that rate, right? The only reason Hitler came to power was because the internet wasn't around to call him Hitler. Now everybody gets called that. Can't believe Sierra England saying $25 an hour. No, look, these local these companies, like these mega carriers, they run local jobs in a lot of cities. And the pay is very good in some cities, depending on the company. So you actually do way better working for a mega carrier as a local driver in a large city than you would as a road driver for that same carrier. Geotab will read the messages, not for us. When a new message comes in, then tap the purple or gray line. It says you have a message. I can't tap the line. It won't let me do anything on the screen because it has a message that the truck's in motion. So I can't get to the message. I'll just hear it beep. And if you hit the button to turn the screen on, because I also have the screen off because it's bright. So I turn the screen off. So if you hit the button and the screen comes on, vehicle's in motion. That's all it will let you do. It doesn't let you do anything to it because the vehicle's moving. So that's safety, right? That's way safer. Mercedes van loads, they pay a little bit better than Schneider, and they give you a good discount on fuel. All right. The reason England's pre-trip's only 6 minutes, that 2 other guys are helping you. Right, it's a total of 18-minute pre-trip. Cash is King Trucking. Hit the like button and don't forget to tip your house, scallywags. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. We'll need it this week for the snow. Again. I'll not get a wife without a test drive. That's what a lot of people say, right? Wonder what Gracie thinks about that. She's not that impressed. Gracie pops in every once in a while. I show a minimum 15 minute. Yeah, there needs to be some kind of time shown, but there's no time in the FMCSA book at all. They'd never put a time in there. It's supposed to log it like you do it. There's a Lancer owner-operator who allowed me to observe the load board. Okay, they're pretty liberal about the load board. You can get any. I was hauling cryo tanks in and out of Trail, BC during the 2008 snowpocalypse, and I threw change more that winter than I had my entire career. Well, up there I can imagine. Carvana's in trouble with states for selling cars and not having titles. They have a little problem with their titles. Some people, it takes a year or 2 to get a title. It's a problem. So let me get this straight. At Tyson, the chicken cannot have any steroids, but the driver has to be vaccinated. That is correct. And a number of people online have pointed that out. But that's true. Chickens are organic. Driver, non-organic. I just thought that Lancer owners were able to choose any load based on the trailer they were pulling. Yeah, anything on their board or whatever, right? I don't exactly know how it works. I test drove it when they delivered it. I know it's a short test drive. That guy's not going to let me take it 100 miles. I could refuse it for any reason, and I took it to Volvo to check it out. Actually, it was bought from the dealer in Oklahoma City when new. I'm just not doing it. It's just not for me. It just isn't for me because you set everything up, then they bring you your car. Okay? That's not, I don't like to do that because that puts them in power. I go take the car for the drive, then take it to a mechanic, then we go back, and then we talk. And so then I'm still in power. Whoever's the money has the power on it. And you've already set the purchase of the car up before they bring you your car. So I don't have that. And they know, look, they know, just like Aldi. For 25 cents, people will run a shopping cart back. That's why when you buy a car at a dealership, they go, well, just put $5 down and we'll hold it. Because you won't go shopping anywhere else. I don't give them anything at all. So I have no obligation to them, and they know it. Right? In fact, I don't even come back and talk to them, especially if I have a trade. And they're like, okay, give me your keys to your trade. And so they go look around at my trade, and I'm come back, and I'm there, and he goes, well, let's go talk. I'm like, no. I want my keys to my car back. And they're like, well, he's looking. I go, well, then we'll wait here in the showroom. I've done this. I've done this many times. I'll wait right here in the showroom. We're not talking about anything until I get my car keys to my car back and it's sitting here in front. Because I want to be able to leave at any second. And they have to know that I'm in charge. I sold cars. I know exactly what they're doing, right? So I throw them off of all this. I'm in charge of how everything works. They move you along so that they can move you along the process. So you have to stop them at every second and change the process to the way you want it. We're not going in there until you do what I tell you to do at the dealership. It works. Okay, where you give me my car keys first, then we will talk. Okay, I bring an egg timer. I've done that in many times too. I bring in an egg timer. When they go, I got to go talk to my manager. And I turn over a little timer where the sand goes down. When this runs out, I'm leaving. Okay, it's simple. What? What do you mean? I go, when this is done, I'm done. Simple stuff like that. So this Carvana, where you fill out the paperwork and then they bring you a car, that's not for me. That might be for newer people or maybe, but I run the show when I go buy a car. Steve Leto has some good Carvana stories about no titles, I bet. Leto's Law, I think, is the name of that channel. I bet he does. Conversion vans to mirror homes. They have seats, electric, water shower. Oh, no, it doesn't quite go that far. I didn't have a shower in it. You could call it a shag and wagon. It was a family hauler. You don't have to rent Landstar trailers. You could bring your own trailer and get a higher percentage. That's true. You wish they'd hire you? Well, have you actually talked to them? Of all, is my Geotab showing the navigation? I tried to get the local run with Sierra England when I signed, but they told me it didn't exist. Oh, here's a local run. That doesn't exist. I was impressed. You're the only one. Even the cat's not impressed. My birthday's on Wednesday. I heard that the manhole offers a giant cake shaped like a roller wiener. Curious, does anything pop out of the cake? If you pay extra, it does. Ford Excursion diesel. My conversion van, though, had better inside space than an Excursion because of the way they're set up. Hey, Mark, you never did any show about the U.S. Express CEO getting terminated. I didn't know he got terminated. What happened to him? You're completely correct. That's why Landstar is bad, because of their stupid trailer rental fees that you have to pay if you're going to work for them. You don't have your own trailer. That would cut into your money. How long does it take one in the truck to thump the tires while checking the lights? Apparently at least 10 minutes. Remember, thumping the tires is completely useless, only to see if they're empty. I prefer my Tyson chicken to be vaccinated, but Tyson drivers to be on steroids. And they could deliver faster and unload the truck quicker. Flatbed drivers should check out High Noon Express in Ottawa. Very old, well-established company. They have one of those low DOT numbers, like 38. That's how you know a place has been around for a while. You have the right to travel, but the motor travel is not a right. Where does the Constitution say that? I had to get licensed before I could fly a plane. I agree that they do licensing, but I'm asking you from my pocket Constitution, where's that listed? That's what I ask people. Traveling is your right. Your mode of it should also be your right. Whatever you can afford should be your right. That's why I don't like to fly, because I don't think the government has the right to barge in on my contract between me and Delta or whoever and say, before you get on this plane that you have a contract with them, we're going to search you. See, I don't like that. Nomadic Brit, Cassius King Trucking, thank you for having me in your live last night. Oh, Cassius King Trucking is going international. I like it. Where did that go? Oh, right there. Right? International now. I very much like it. I witnessed a beautiful thing. My severely autistic 10-year-old son developed a connection with a Down syndrome girl in a special needs class, and they walked together holding hands. That's pretty good. I'll tell you what, he's doing better than I was at that age. He's 15 years ahead of me, probably. So, not good. Not bad, though. That's good. Maybe they can keep their friendship their whole life. I mean, I met my friend when I was 12, and me and him still talk. So, quite a while, 20-some years now. Yeah. Simply know what's going on with the truck trailer pre-trip optional. Yeah, you're going to log 10 minutes here, you get in trouble. I did car sales before truck driving. I didn't like it because I felt bad selling people cars I knew were unreliable. I didn't like it because I knew they were getting hosed. That's why I quit doing it. I thought this is going to be the best job I ever had because I love cars. I knew everything about cars. I love driving cars. I got to drive a different car every day. I hated it because the only way to make money was to completely hose people, and I didn't like it. And so I had to leave. I couldn't take it anymore. And I vowed that I would, anybody goes with me to a car dealer, I'm always happy to go with them, help them out at the dealerships, especially ones I sold cars right here in town. I'm happy to go over there. And I just give car dealers a hard time when I'm buying a car because I know what they're doing. Even though I give them a hard time, they're going to make money on the next 10 people, unfortunately. Whenever companies that take on the runs that Tyson drivers do not need to get the vax. Isn't that interesting? They'll third party it out, though, to somebody that doesn't need it. If you like shopping cart hijinks, watch Cart Narc. What's a shopping cart hijinks? What could possibly go on with that? I see shopping cart hijinks here because outside of Kroger, there's always people pushing carts all over town. 6 months over the road. Oh, all right. They might. Landstar, you need to call the agent that has the load posted. Plenty of YouTube videos talking about it. All this year, I thought it was a P trip. It is for some drivers. As long as you're there, right, you can still do two things at once. Carvana sold a Solon Hertz car to Memphis that was retired in California. Sweet. Retitled. They have been some problems with them with titles. Probably a lot of cars go through okay. I'm just not doing it because of the pre-trip and, I want to take the car in. That guy that shows up with a car, I can't tell him that, he gets there at 9 in the morning. I'll probably be back sometime in the afternoon with his car, and then we'll decide. They're not going to allow that, and that's what I do. I'm getting on a used car, not a new car. Isn't the Aldi Motel of returning cart model set up for homeless people to make money? I would let a bum return my cart for me. I will tell you, most people won't. I've gone to Aldi's a few times, and I'm in the parking lot. Somebody's loading their car. I go, yeah, I'll take your cart. And the old lady's like, you're going to give me a quarter for that cart, or you ain't getting this cart. And she's hitting me with her cane and her walker. I'm getting beat up by a walker. So people want that quarter. It works. I just tried to make a delivery to a box factory, only to find that they closed for President's Day. Who closes a box factory on President's Day? I would not assume anybody is closed today. Any other than the post office. I know I don't have to check the mail today. I applied to drive an owner-operator's truck for a Landstar agent. A couple years ago, it could take a week or a month to go through the application. I didn't know you could do that. That might be an interesting way to get in. Like if you wanted to get in. Why are we not on Mars? Because there's a bunch of dumb people here where I got to pay for dry cheese sandwiches for them. We'll find that out tomorrow on the podcast. Is the Queen in control of Parliament? Yeah, can she step in over Trudeau? That's a good question. It's because Swift has a secret terminal there and no one is allowed to live there. Really? Shopping carts cost 25 cents at Aldi's. Buy all you want. That's true. That's true. I heard they're 50 cents now from a couple people. I don't know if that's true, though. I haven't been to Aldi in a while. I know a person that goes there just to buy bananas. I'm like, that is a lot of work to get bananas at, a slight discount. Bananas are only a couple of dollars for a bunch of them. Why are you going to go there? Well, they're only 25 cents a pound. I'm like, they were like 59 cents at Aldi. So 3 pounds, you save 90 cents. That's a great deal. No, sorry, but if she could, I'm sure she would put him in the tower. Oh, so she can't do anything anyways. She could say, take my picture off your money. How about that? Werner called and asked if I do a pre-trip after sleeper berth. I said, yeah, I go on duty pre-trip and go for a cup of coffee. Some people have no sense of humor, I bet. I'd tell them, yeah. I don't know what you guys are talking about, you guys at Werner. Cart Narc is a funny channel. He tries to stop people from leaving the cart in parking spots. Oh, I'm all for that then. That's so aggravating. I don't park anywhere near the store, partly because I don't want people scratching my car or whatever. But, yeah, put the stuff back in the shopping cart return thing. I park next to a shopping cart return at Meyer. So I'm right next to it. Just boom, right in there. But always take it back. Come on. Why can't we do that? They roll around the parking lot, scratch people's cars and everything. I don't like it. I don't like them doing that. I do want to say that if you wear it, you should make it a parrot and put it on your head. You don't want to get a ticket for that. And that's me as a baby in the 90s. So getting one of the first, that's the Blue Parrot 10. Right there, Blue Parrot 10. I want to thank GP Transco for coming in today. Say hello. GP Transco was here. So we talked about Smith Transport too. Long nose and large check. How about that? They can use that if they want to. And for flatbedding, why don't you check out Melton? And go all over the country, amazingly. They should say that more. See all 48 states with a flatbed, which I never thought I would ever say, to be honest with you. And you can also go to DOT because everybody's got to eat. Cheeseman is ready to show you how to make a 6-figure salary video by video, which is very nice. Cash is King Trucking was here today, which I appreciate very much. Go over there and say hello to him. And of course, Auto Transport Intel, go say hello to Jay. And tell him Mark sent you. He probably won't remember me because he's a big star on YouTube and everything now, and that's okay. I can live with that. We love Jay anyways, and I don't know anything about hauling cars. By the way, as I go, I wanted to say that, right. Hauling cars. Did you see this? Hauling cars, new cars, and car parts is now considered essential. The government considers that. Is a new car some kind of essential thing? And I almost understand food. Although many of us, probably me included, could go several months without eating. But new cars are considered essential and get the exemption, just like hauling food. New car parts, too. So parts for new cars. It was added to the exemption from the FMCSA. Isn't that great? Dropped at LSC Communications in Crawfordsville and waited there since Saturday night. Holy mackerel. Where do you park in Crawfordsville? Oh, I guess there's a truck stop right there at 74, right? Wow. Wow. Crawfordsville. You know, there are a lot of people that leave their quarters, and I walk them back. I made 30 minutes. Really? I don't see anybody leaving their cart at Aldi. That's the whole deal. You go into Aldi, and the carts are all put back. Maybe it's somebody like you, an enterprising person, making some extra money. I might let somebody take the cart back for a quarter. It's just a quarter. Wife works at Meijer. At this Meijer in Lafayette? They're all out of Tyson chicken, both fresh and frozen. Maybe it was the vaccine mandate. Maybe. I shop at Meijer on Sunday mornings, unless I work on Saturday. And I was there yesterday. No Tyson. No Tyson at Meijer. Really not much cat food either, really. So disappointed. Yeah. So right, roll the credits, and we will roll the credits. I do want to thank everybody for being here today. We can't do the show without you, which we do every week at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And we try to do podcasts every Tuesday, Friday, weather permitting. So it didn't happen last Friday. There will be one tomorrow, though, so we will get one out tomorrow. And we'll explain why there wasn't one last Friday. And it's a doozy, and how Split Sleeper can maybe get you some more money. So that's what we're going to do with that. But I want to thank John Slayback. Zay Black was here. I try to get it right today. Jail Travels, thank you for being here. Joe was here today. Stan Dodge. Sultan Murray, thank you for being here. Columbia George was here today. Slim Shady was here today. George Costanza, thank you for coming in today. I appreciate it. Let's see, where am I here? Cassius King Trucking, thank you. Joan Harper, it's good to see you. You know, maybe Lancer's worth a call. Interesting. I never thought about driving for an agent that owns a truck. Huh. Kelter Rooster Travels, thank you for coming in today. Glitter Sparkle was here today. First up was George H.W. Bush, convenient on President's Day. And Chicken Hauler to Skateboarder was first the other day. Dark 688, thank you for being here. Nomadic Brit, drinking your coffee and loving it. Earl Grey, hot every day here. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Paladin was here today. Thank you for coming in. Michael Strazella. Hey, what's up? Happening? Flat was here. Terrible. Mark, I'm going to get an email about that, I'm sure. Jay Trucking was here today. Jeff Hudson. Million Miler, thank you for being here today. Let's see here. Oh, Midlife Trucker, thank you for coming in. Captain Cleaner Wiener. Major Barrett, but I have to head on out or they will gripe at me, of course. Thank you for being here today. We're going to head on out. Be safe. Look, snow coming again this week, Thursday to Friday. They're looking at 11 a.m. Thursday to noon Friday. That's what they're saying in the Lafayette, Indiana area, up to 8 inches, depending who measures it, just like last week. So be careful. Warm 2 days, and we'll be back soon.